I just realized I have Jewel of Yevon misspelt in my OBS.
Sorry.
I'm wondering if it was intentional to misspell everyone's name.
Sorry.
Wait, I misspelled everyone's name?
I think you got IG777 correct. I think that's not the only one.
Your name's not right?
Oh, you got... No, it's an EN. Arden. But that's okay.
What? I copied and pasted everything, I swear.
Well, you did it wrong.
Yeah, you do have it wrong on the overlay.
What? No.
Just we went live just in time for that.
No. That's a no on my screen. Definitely a no. Delta QV is spelled right, thank God.
Yeah, I'm at least spelled right.
Elter is spelled right. He's just got the typo in his soak.
Okay.
Listen, I'm not a professional. I get paid for the money, like right here. This is what I get paid for. It has
Yeah, you're not a professional, but we expect at least an amateur.
Let me make a change to obligation.
There we go.
All right, so before we started, I rolled some dice, had everyone pick some numbers, and Church is going to have his obligation trigger tonight. So
Which one?
We'll find that out in stream because I was already expecting your obligation to trigger. Because I just got a sense of just how the dice roll.
The guy with 30 of them is probably going to be the one.
So go ahead and everyone take 1 strain. Church, you take 2 strain. And then let's go ahead and roll those force dice.
Okie dokie.
We're going to get this out of the way.
Oh, yeah, dark side.
Yeah.
A lot of dark side again.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, that's everyone. So 3 dark side.
Fitting for Delta because she is technically more vaguely more dark side attuned in some ways. She's, I think, the only fully good aligned character. No, Ardon's good aligned, I think.
Ren's good.
I thought you were neutral.
Everyone.
Yeah, he's like paladin level, lawful good all the way.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anyone,
That's what I gathered.
I don't think there's anyone on the group that's like truly like dark side.
Gaze passes over IG777.
He's not bad. He's just programmed that way.
He doesn't have a light or dark side. He's just that way.
So,
Yeah.
Church, since you helped drive forward a lot of the escapades last game and you're the standing MVP of the last session, why don't you go ahead and do the recap?
Oh, Lord. All right, so we picked up in the hangar mid-fight. I believe the guard had the militia or whatever they're called, the cloud people with laser beams. We're landing to come in. The what?
City guard.
Yeah, that
Wing
exactly.
Guard, wing guard.
The Wiener Guard. They were landing to mess up our good time. Let's see. Altor had long since been like, see ya. He was out. I believe everybody actually ditched out on Ren there. Ren literally had that moment. I remember of looking back and like, all right, guys. Oh no. So Ren jumped into the cloud car, managed to somehow hit the right buttons, ignite the thing, and launch out, smashing through the doors, careening off of one of them. And then a big chase ensued. I accidentally misted a passerby. Totally his fault. Even though I, as was mentioned, failed every single roll during my flight, I still managed to crash into a building jump out of the falling cloud car in through the window holes and landed, shaking my tail briefly enough for me to hobble down, wounded as I was, and blend into the crowd and escape. Let's see. Meanwhile, I'm trying to remember what everyone else was doing here. I know everybody kind of regrouped and made their way back to was it our contact there? What's his name?
Oh no, we went back to the garage, Honest Greg's place.
Oh, that's right. It was. We went to Honest Greg's. Yeah, so we went to Honest Greg's. I think that's where we met up. That might have been.
Yeah, that was kind of our rendezvous point.
Yeah, no, just we chatted a bit. I remember, and I think thanks to Delta's sibling, I got some TLC, much needed.
And I believe
Massive TLC.
Do you remember what the results of that TLC was?
It was like a crit positive, massive mega heal with like a lollipop afterward.
Yeah, 3 successes, 1 advantage, and 1 triumph.
Yeah.
So
I will describe what happened after you technically meet her in game.
Well, shoot, with a roll like that, we're dating.
You'll have a very quick death.
Probably. And nobody wants Ren dating their sister.
So we're going to start tonight off with it being the morning of the Grand Prix. So you wake up, there's just a parade going through the streets. Everyone's just walking around, partying, just massive groups making its way to the race grounds. And I imagine you guys are going to want to head that way yourselves since the race is going to be starting soon.
GM?
Yes.
Actually, I was hoping I could introduce Delta Sisters, since we actually cut off before we actually met them.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. I'm sorry, it might take a little bit,
No,
but
no, it's all good. You got about 2 hours world time before you have to be
Okay.
at the grounds.
So as we open the door to Delta's apartment, there's like a brief knock, and Delta says a quick code word, and the door opens, and standing in front of the door is a feminine figure. She's fully concealed head to toe, but unlike Delta, there's no mistaking her for a robot or a droid. The suit's a little bit more lithe, and it's just a helmet. That's really the serious mechanical part. Some very rudimentary armor, the kind of thing you wouldn't find out of place on any random traveler around these parts. And the traveler, though you can't see their face too easily, you can almost feel like an eye quirk as she glances past Delta and sees the rest of you. Oh, you brought company without telling me.
Hey.
Hi there. I'm glances at Delta. Delta gives a shrug. I'm introducing them. I figured, well, this one needs to be patched up, so they're going to have to meet Chimera before too long. I see. Well, hello. I'm Delphi. I'm one of Delta's associates, co-workers. She's my sister.
Hey, mine too. Coworker, not sister.
Oh, I see. Yes, it's good to meet you. Delphi smiles, probably having pulled up some information on all of you except Ardan.
Oh yeah, I've got a reputation. It's one of my obligations.
Nice to meet you. Name? she says as if she doesn't know.
I'm gonna stand up and accidentally put my weight on my leg, and as I'm reaching out to shake your hand, like go oh, and like fall forward on my face.
she like rather than she catches you very slightly. It's weird. She seems almost torn between like the manners of catching you and this like knowledge that this is an attempt to like potentially like stab her with a knife.
No knives in
Delta
here.
would let you fall. This woman is a bit kinder, but also a bit more savvy than Delta.
Is it normal when the wound gurgles like that?
Oh, you're seriously injured. Well, I'm afraid there's not much I can do. I work as the babysitter. I do more than babysit, Delta. Thank you very much. She's also the cook and the cleaner.
I've never sat on a baby. That's a new one.
Okay, well that's horrifying that you don't know what a babysitter is. You're joking with me. You're teasing me. Oh my gosh.
I've lost quite a lot of blood.
Delta goes, he might not be teasing. I think this just I don't know if he actually knows what a babysitter is. Anyways,
Yeah.
I'm something of the come in first. And she ushers you in. I'm effectively the brains of the outfit. I do some of the research, the social interactions, and well, as Delta put it, I'm something of a cleaner sometimes when needed.
Oh wow, yeah. Well, do you have a car? I make lots of messes.
Unfortunately, given my split duties between babysitting, looking over our sister Chimera, and looking over my delightful big sister, I'm usually a little busy to take other jobs. But I'll be helping you guys out from behind the scenes here.
Do you have a rag or a handkerchief?
And she's already like in the kitchen grabbing like a towel or something. It's like, here, okay, just wrap this around for a second. Chimera, we have guests. Get out of your room for goodness sake.
Ren wraps it around his head.
She'll be out before too long. Make yourself comfortable.
Okay, I'll fall over.
Arden kind of steps in and says, "All right, hello, my name's Arden. Thank you for your help here. Do you terminal? I need access. I need to get some data here. So anywhere I can plug in?
I have a basic computer that you might be able to use.
Yeah, that
Actually,
sounds great." And he starts
no.
heading in a direction, looking for something.
She like actually she actually goes up to you. I'm sorry, I really want to trust you, but right now I would like to keep my stuff separate. Is that okay?
Yeah, you hold up. I just need to connect. I need somewhere.
I'm sorry, I can't have you using mine. He can use mine. Calls a voice from across the room. Turning to see it, you don't see anybody. It's a couch. But wait, no, there's some sort of mechanical snake peering over the corner of the room, over the couch.
The look of surprise and somewhat shock, maybe an acceptance that, okay, is that talking to me, as he looks over at what this is.
The mechanical snake like separates and then proceeds to like look at you with a mechanical eye before it moves around the like behind the couch to the edge of the couch and proceeds to like it turns out it's not a snake but a tail. of some mechanical creature that crawls around the arm of the couch and onto it and proceeds to sit down and stare at you. The figure's dressed, again, fully concealed, but they're. If Delta looked like a droid, this thing is undeniably a droid. Like, it's more machine than person. In fact, the way that they move around is barely human in some cases, except occasionally, once they sit down, they kind of sit down like a normal person in a weird way, holding like a mug of like hot chocolate, which seems to be completely pointless given the fact that they're wearing a helmet that fully covers their head and has like a glass screen, a pair of electronic like emoji eyes flashing on the screen show their expressions rather than any actual facial features.
I like this one.
A pair of like rabbit-like ears are also like protruding from the back of the helmet, perhaps antennae, and her hands have these like have clearly been cybernetically altered into these claws that could presumably be some sort of omni-tool, essentially, or multi-tool. And lastly, adorning this robotic creature standing no more than 4 feet tall is a large, oversized sweater in a bright, like a soft pink.
Delta, you didn't tell me your sisters were so adorable.
Of course my sisters are adorable. They're my sisters. Delta's robotic eyes narrow at you. Are you implying that I'm not?
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. You have your gifts.
You're right. You're right. I'm more of a hot than adorable.
So which one of these lovely ladies is going to stuff their hand in my wound and cinch off whatever's causing the liquids to come out?
Oh, that would be Chimera over there. She's the youngest of us.
Hi.
Chimera is barely paying attention to you and is staring directly at the droid in the room.
Greetings.
Salutations.
You have a very efficient form.
As do you.
Designed by the machine for the machine. The only way.
Delta shakes her head.
I am the one who has designed this body of mine.
If only we could afford the license for some Marvin Gaye right now.
Well, anyways, I'd hate to interrupt such a stirring conversation. She glances between Chimera and IG, but
mind you, this conversation was in binary.
Okay, yeah, she can completely communicate in that.
Cool. This is how we test you.
Delta like stares. She only knows the slightest bit of binary. Delta will proceed to like tell her sister, "Hey, Ren has been horrifically wounded. Do you think you can fix this?" And after observing your wound and taking you into her room, you find a cluttered mess of like just all this scrap metal and pieces of wiring and technology all over the place. This young girl doesn't seem to have any sense of organization, but she seems to know where everything is. So she gets to work on you and she cleans out your wound, gives you some like little painkillers, proceeds to remove any sort of damage, like remove as much damage as possible so it can heal properly, and then places like this mechanical brace over it so that it's not fully cybernetic, but you know, it'll do. And I think that's how we justified like her basically healing you to full and removing your critical injury.
Oh yeah, I'm looking body. Botty.
Yeah, she admits that like it's a bit sloppy, and like while a normal person wouldn't have a problem with it, as a fighter, as a trained fighter, like you'd notice like the slightest millisecond of a delay between like you moving and like this thing moving behind you. So it might be annoying in combat, but like it won't give you any penalties or anything like that. So
Oh, that's all right. I would honestly, Ren would probably look up at her and say, you know, if you had the parts, I'd kiss you. Thank you so much.
That would be ill-advised. Delta would probably remove your head from your spine.
Well, you know, the day's not over. She may by the time we're through anyway. So.
I may. Anyways, I think that's everything I wanted to cover with the sisters.
Okay.
Thank you for indulging me.
No, not a problem. That was fun. What do you guys want to do?
I would like for the cloud car to be delivered to the starting line, and then we should probably make our way to the registry, like the check-in area.
Okay.
But we might want to split the party.
Yeah, I would. Who wants to go to the race grounds? Who wants to go to the racers' quarters? Like, how do you guys want to do this?
Well, obviously, I shouldn't be allowed anywhere near the actual car.
You
Or the race.
Probably not. There's a good chance that I've been made again.
Yep. So I think probably send you and Arden to a bookie. And then Delta and I will go to the race grounds.
Oh, this is so funny. You guys have no idea how funny this is.
So, Delta, do you think, and excuse me if I'm overstepping, that either you or one of your sisters might have some type of face visor I could wear just to, you know, be a little inobtrusive?
I mean, well, we do have to repair our helmets from time to time, so Chimera probably has a couple of bits of scrap that you could use.
That's fine. It doesn't have to do anything other than, you know, hide my moneymaker.
Yes. Well, as you can probably tell, this whole robotic face isn't exactly my actual face.
It's
So-
not.
This is disappointing, I know. Delta seems genuinely disappointed by this. Delta seems almost to be like admitting some dark secret, just like, yes, I wish it was, but
You've been found in possession of meat.
he turns away, like pointedly, like, I know, IG, I'm sorry. I'm a sham.
The Hamburglar.
All right, so who's in this group that's gonna go to the bookies?
I guess I am. Me and Arden, was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that who's going to be the pilot? Let's start there. Just to fill in our viewing audience.
I think I'm piloting still.
Yep.
Right?
Who's going to be co-pilot / gunner?
I'll be the co-pilot / gunner.
This is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
All right. What?
Before we leave the house, can I see if I can have make a roll to see if I can scrap together some electromagnetic boots?
No, you spent all your time talking. No.
Damn it. That's completely fair.
Yeah, that family time cut into the amount of time you had to make some electromagnetic
Understandable.
boots. What's Altor gonna do? What do you guys want him to do? Hang back, just at Honest Grex, making sure he doesn't sell you guys out or anything?
Can we have Altor meet, like, go pick up the car at Grex and bring it to us
Yeah.
at the starting line, and then he can go hang out in a bar?
Yeah.
Like he wanted to.
Yeah, that
Did
definitely
he
works.
do any modifications to the car?
Did Honest Greg?
We
Alter
did.
or Honest Greg? I would assume that Alter might have done something to it. I'm not.
He didn't, but
We-
Honest Greg did install.
Okay.
Who remembers?
The repulsor lift.
And who remembers what that does?
Enhancement increases output of standard airspeeder's repulsor lift engine considerably.
Considerably.
That was before my time.
Indubitably.
I'm switching, flipping to the page where the repulsor lift's covered.
Arden is still trying to play catch up to where you guys are at. He's got thrown into the middle of a complete botched sabotage some cars, come to meet some sisters that are helping us, and I'm still trying to figure out there's a jewel somewhere involved in all this.
You're welcome to ask. You can ask Ren anything you want while we're out going to the bookie.
Yeah, and I'll be on that trail. I just don't want to bore the audience with stuff that's already happened.
Okay. So a repulsor lift enhancement. It requires a 2 mechanics check that all passed. It adds a modifier where the system can suffer 1 strain to add 1 maximum speed for 1 round. So essentially, it's like punching it, but rather than taking 1 strain for each boost in speed up to max speed, you take 1 strain rather than what could be 4 or 5 strain.
That sounds useful.
Yeah, so it allows you to punch it without taxing the vehicle as much.
Cool.
So Delta and IG, and you know what, I should ask anyone who's listening or watching the stream, Cranky mentioned my audio wasn't coming through very well. If that's still the case, let me know. I can dial it up a bit more. As you guys make your way to the race grounds, and as the rest of the group is going to meet with the bookie, you see on the main square leading to the race grounds just current news, and just every screen you go across talks about the break-in at the race grounds the night before, and the high-speed chase that some rebel led through the city streets of Cloud City, and the murder that took place of one of the Cloud City's most well-known bookies.
As I'm walking with Ren, I lean over. I said, "You had nothing to do with this, did you?"
Was he a Twi'lek by chance?
He was. All that they found left in his place was a pair of boots.
I had nothing to do with it.
Galdak was his name, and he leaves behind 6 Twi'lek children and a new bride.
At least she can sit on a couple of the children at a time.
So yeah, because of that, the city, the Cloud City Guard aren't so much concerned about it because he was a bookie. However, the crime organization he works for isn't too happy. And Church, you take 2 bounty while you take 2 bounty while you're on Bespin.
It's a good thing I got the visor.
Or until they catch who they feel is responsible.
I do have the visor on.
I just have to ask, with those 2, what's your obligation up to?
With those 2?
Yeah, what is it? What is it, like 60?
I gotta pull this up.
All right. So while he's looking that up, and he's just kind of head on a swivel, he's got the visor, but he's feeling a little bit paranoid and on edge because he sees all the newscast and how there's now a bounty out for the man who killed the crime organization's main bookie.
Is that 10 apiece for each of those?
No, it's just two.
Two.
Just 2 points.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a monster.
Okay. Well, I've got 40 to start with.
He wasn't that big of an earner. He was an earner, but not that big of an earner. I'm just giving you 2.
Okay. So 42 is my obligation.
All right. Especially with how much you have. I didn't know where it would fit in with all the others. So that's the obligation that's triggered, is the bounty obligation. So you might want to be a little extra careful around some of the casinos and.
All right. Well, I've got the heavy cloak that I normally wear with the hood.
Okay.
And then the visor I got from Delta and the Sisters.
Okay. So when the group makes their way to the race grounds, you're going to arrive at the main Grand Prix kind of lobby. And the receptionist there directs you towards the racer's room. You walk through a security door that slides out of the way with a barely audible hiss, and you find yourselves standing in a snug vehicle berth. There are a variety of tools and maintenance equipment strewn about your cloud car, which has a familiar 2-cockpit formation. Honest Grek kind of slides out from underneath the cloud car, dropping just a big piece of metal that he removed from the bottom of the cloud car. He looks at you guys and says, "Wow, you guys really cut it close. You must be real confident. I hope you don't mind. I made a little bit more in terms of modifications. I couldn't really fit the hyper lift in there, or the repulsor lift in there quite so well. So I had to remove some of the extra armor. So bad news, you're not going to be able to take as many hits, but good news, you'll go faster."
Faster is good.
So your vehicle speed, because of this, has been increased from a 4 to a 5.
Kick ass.
Okay.
Your armor, however, has been decreased by 1.
Okay, from 2 to 1.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just don't get hit.
That's
We're not
reasonable.
getting any hit.
Right. Just remember, when you're in front, there's a lot of people behind you able to shoot. All right, so you guys make that note on your vehicle?
I hate to tell you this, but I'm not the best shot with these cannons, so speed's probably better than trying to hang back and let them just take shots at it. I'm trying to take them out with the cannon. She says, like, attaching something to her arm bracers and everything. Okay.
So as you guys are kind of getting yourself situated and getting caught up with Honest Grek, just booming throughout the Grand Prix complex, you just hear this announcer break in and, "Will all racers approach the starting line? Today we have a fantastic, it's the 10th annual Grand Prix. We are so excited for this. We have so much drama that has occurred. We have the Mandel Motors sponsored corporate team, which has just had to find a last-minute vehicle. Thank goodness they have a sponsor as kind and generous as Mandel Motors. They've been able to ship in real quickly a top-of-the-line racing vehicle. Sure, it may not have all the bells and whistles of all the money that's been dropped in their last cloud car, but they are still considered to be one of the top contenders with all the casinos in Bespin. And then we have the Carbines, those dirty Hut-sponsored fighters. They will get down in the mud and make sure to, I don't know, I lost my train of thought. We'll just go with that. And then we have the City Zone, Razor. Is his name Razor? I forgot. This is embarrassing. I was in the zone, and then I lost it. Yeah, Razor. Tires. Taryn Razor. the city own. He's a little bit cocky and brass, has never quite finished in first, but maybe this is his year. And then we have the upcoming team. What is this? Is interesting. This team is actually sponsored by Erishen. There's some they apparently don't have much of a racing background, so let's not consider them much of a threat and focus on the main three. Why don't we? And with that, you guys,
dark horse.
with that, you can make your way to the starting line if you want, or do some last minute checks on the vehicle.
Could I have had the others put me down for 500 on us or something, or a small amount on, like, Delta would want to, like, say, hey, I'll come in and, you know.
Oh yeah, we're putting everything on us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Is that
Yeah.
wise? I mean,
IG had given, Ren all of our credits.
so yeah, as we're hurrying our way to the bookie to place our bets, I've turned to Ren. I said I got like 500 credits I could put on us. Is that what we want to do?
All of it. We're gonna win. We're gonna win, or this whole city is gonna go up in flames. It's one of the two.
I pull up the tablet and I look at it. I said, but look at these odds. I mean, that could work. I mean, but we have to win.
Oh yeah, that's the way we gamed it that way on purpose. Wink, wink.
So leading up to this, you guys actually had a 4-to-1 odds of winning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. That's pretty good payout.
Yeah, we got this.
No one
Okay.
expects you to win.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and I'll put it in my credits. And I'm looking at Ren. Ren, what do you got? Can we get anything on this? What do you got?
I got a lot of skin in the game. That's about it.
Literal skin.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I came into this a little skint, but yeah, that's why I'm doing it.
Okay, we get to the bookie and oh god, what is our team name? I forget the team name. Spit, wasn't it?
Yep.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, so I get the bookie. I'd like to place 800 on Ugna Spit.
He kind of looks a bit confused, looks through the books, and he's like, you sure about that, pal? I mean,
I've never felt like wasting so much money in my entire life.
yeah, I mean, that's, even Razor hasn't won a race, and he's trending much better than those guys.
Hey, Arden,
Leans over.
ask if we can double down.
We double down on that.
You can't.
I
It's worth a try.
would like to double down. No.
All right. 800 on Ugnaught Spit.
All
I'm
right.
positive with this one. I have faith in this team.
All right. You're lost, pal. So he takes your money. He gives you like a data chit.
Where's the high roller lounge?
He kind of
for high rollers.
he kind of looks you up and down and says, "Pal, you're funny. They would eat you alive."
Well, I mean, we're just wanting to watch the race with our hobnobbing buddies, with the big money things that they do with, lots of credits.
Yeah, you'll probably want to go get some bleacher seats. And you already got the funny face mask. You'd fit in with those weirdos who wear all the freaky hats.
Hey, I was scarred as a child. That's rude.
Oh. Well, then you'd fit in with the freaks real well.
I like you. Let's talk after the race.
Pal, let's just hope you can I don't know. It's just I get the feeling that you're not going to want to come back because you're not going to be collecting any money. You might as well just hang out at a bar or something because you're going to be soaking it up.
I tell you what, you
Grab
seem
Ren.
pretty.
Oh, come on, Ren. Come on, Ren. Let's get the race.
Double down.
So I'm dragging him away.
The guy taking the bets is kind of just chuckling. He's like, get new ones every day.
Melanigor molystrophic.
All right, so we're gonna switch back. We're gonna switch back to the racers. So you guys pull up to the starting line, and you see the 3 other main competitors already there. Everyone except Razor's car is just in phenomenal shape. Just you got the corporate sponsored team. Their car's this bright red and yellow, just stands out, is flashier than anything you could imagine. You have the Hut sponsored team, which is just this disgusting puke green. The Huts view it as the color of money. And then you have Razor's car, which he looks like he's driving kind of a worn down Wingard vehicle. It's slightly rusty. You're kind of surprised that someone would actually enter this in a race. But he's standing there, just chest puffed out, kind of just strutting his stuff, just real confident that this is the year he's going to bring it home.
The one that I stole is not in the race, right? He's out.
No, he's in the race.
Which one is that?
That's the corporate sponsored.
Corporate sponsored. They a replacement identical model.
Their corporate sponsor is actually Mandel Motors. So
that's right.
They were able to get a car. It's now their vehicle is actually slower because of this. So normally their vehicle speed would be a 5, but they're going to be at a 4. So you do actually get an advantage because of that.
So can we see the lineup from where we're sitting in the bleachers?
Yeah, because so when you're at the bleachers, kind of right in the center above where the starting line is essentially this large jumbotron where the cameras are panning around the race course. Right now they're going through each of the different racers, giving a bit of a bio, their history of their past races. It gets to Razor. You see that he's been in all 10 of the races. This is his 10th race, and he has never finished higher than 4th place. Historically, there have been more racers this year. It's a little bit less turnout because so many people are expecting the corporate sponsor team to actually win. Most people didn't want to invest in the cars. And then the camera pans over to Ugnatspit, and then it kind of gets to the history underneath, and there's just a big question mark.
Would you say we're a stone's throw from the racer lineup?
No, and you're quite a bit ways back.
Do we have any sort of crowd reaction when we're on the jumbotron?
Yeah, you see me standing up in the bleachers going, "Woo! Yeah!"
So you hear just it pans to you. You see yourself on the big screen, and then you just kind of hear silence, and then a brief moment you hear kind of a.
Perfect. This is great for us.
Yeah, the odds are pretty probably in our favor pretty well. I mean, against our favor.
Yeah, and as you kind of look up,
make a lot of money.
As you look up and down the line, you notice that the corporate sponsored team, their racers look as kind of prim and proper as their vehicle is, very standout-ish. Their race suits are all top of the line. The main racer and what you maybe assume is his wife are the...
Which team was this? I'm sorry.
This is the corporate sponsored team.
Okay.
The Stormhawks.
Yeah.
And then you have the Carbine team. The Carbine team actually stands out to you. The co-pilot actually just finishes doing his rounds, looking underneath the hood. He's this short, kind of, you get the sense he kind of has this like small man syndrome. But he is a Zexto.
Zexto.
Yes. I don't have a picture for him. And the racer, who is kind of just arguing with him, he kind of glances over at you and gives you a snarl. And he has this big, he looks humanoid, but has this big face tattoo down the left side of his face. And the other half of his face has what looks to be like metal plates and different just augmentations that you can't quite make out on the other right-hand side of his face. And he looks over at you and he's like, "What are you looking at?" Sorry, that's my best Mike Tyson impression.
I'd like to stare them down silently.
You trying to intimidate or just?
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll for me. Is there an intimidation? I don't think there is.
I think there is.
There's a charm. There's a coercion. You can try to coerce.
Coercion, that's it.
Yeah, do coercion. Give me a coercion check.
Okay.
Also, I looked up the Zexto and I was like, oh, it's those long-necked race.
It's good.
The link in Twitch chat.
So, you got what? One advantage, one success?
Yep.
So, describe to me how your droid is staring him down to intimidate him.
We are walking past, but we lock eyes with him and maintain our stride, rotating our head as we keep walking.
You got little skull and crossbones flash on your LEDs for your eyes.
No, but he knows that we got his number now.
Okay. So you actually, with that, you see him kind of jerk back, shake his head. He's a little off put by this. He kind of slaps the Zexto on the back of its head, and they climb into their cars. At this point, everyone else is getting into their vehicle.
Mm-hmm. Delta's gonna hook a spare cable and grappling hook to her like load-bearing gear, and she's gonna like take a cable and like tie herself to like the seat or something. Okay, if I fall out, that should help. Still be pretty low, but hey, what happens happens, right?
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Oh, all good.
All right. Yeah, we'll hop in the driver's seat too.
Okay.
Yeah, gee.
Yeah, what's up?
Let's show these guys some machine supremacy, right?
Machine supremacy. Went into a fist bump.
Fist bump.
All right, I'm just updating a sheet real quick so that way I'll be able to keep track of everyone's kind of relative place in the race. So we got the Stormhawks, we got the Carbines, we have Razor, and then we have Ugnaught Spit. So with this, a light actually floats down from the center of the kind of Jumbotron, and it's your typical light where it's got a red light, a yellow light, and a green light. And the light is just kind of hovering there right out in front of all the vehicles. And right now it's just a red light flashing. The announcer jumps on, does this big presentation, gets the crowd hyped up. Right now, everyone in the stands, they're standing up, they're cheering. Everyone's yelling out a different team name. You get one shout, you think, for Ugnaught Spit.
Ooh.
Woo!
And with that,
We are the crowd favorites.
with that, the light changes from red to yellow to green.
Punch it. Punch it.
You're gonna punch it?
We're punching it. We're out of here.
All
Let's
right.
go.
Let me go ahead and get initiative set up. For the sake of this race, I'm going to let you guys go first.
Okay. Gosh.
So let me add. How does it let me add?
I made a joke in chat about like Delta's like machine supremacy, and it's like none of Delta's cybernetics actually benefit her in any way during this race, unless I can get onto somebody else's ship and punch it.
Let's see. It's not letting me.
You never know.
I gotta.
You roll a critical injury for.
You can ignore that. I'm trying to get the initiative to add. So, all right, never mind. I don't know where it's at. Initiative's going to kind of change based on who's in first place. So, I'm going to let you go first for this round. So, you're going to punch it. Your vehicle is going to go from 0 to 5. So, you take 5 points of strain.
Wait,
Yeah,
where
both
is
of us
this on
start?
the?
What's that?
Is there a vehicle on the menu? Is that the vehicle or is that me?
On the menu. What menu?
I don't know.
Do we take the strain?
You take 5 strain.
Okay, each of us.
No, you don't. Your vehicle takes strain. So just make a note.
Is there a vehicle in the?
No, there's not. RPG Sessions has not implemented vehicles yet. It's in beta.
Oh, okay. I don't
So
have a character sheet for the vehicle.
I posted it in Discord.
Okay, let me find that real quick.
Your strain limit is 7.
Uh-oh. Yikes. Maybe should have thought about that in the first place.
Maybe.
Oops.
You have there's ways for you can like do repairs and stuff during the race. That's some of your
Oh,
maneuver
cool.
options. You can try and like do some damage control. So we'll see where it goes because you're not the only one who's punching it. Also punching it with you is Razor.
Sweet. Let's go.
And
Maybe
Razor
that's why he's always in fourth place.
Razor's like right there with you. Or I'm sorry, I said Razor, I meant Carbine. Razor's going to not punch it, but we're going to have the Stormhawks all punching it as well, but they're going to be slightly behind you because of their damaged vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
So I want everyone to make a piloting check for me. This is going to be a 2-diced piloting, a 2 difficulty piloting check, because this is going to kind of determine where things are at.
By everyone, you mean just the ones in the vehicle, right?
Just the ones in the race, yes.
Okay.
And by I take that back, and I don't mean everyone. I mean all the pilots.
Oh,
The
that's
one.
the pilot. Okay.
Yes.
The one that counts.
Yes.
Do I get any bonuses or anything?
No, not with. And you can use a force dice.
I could have.
If
I'll
you-
save it. I'll do that.
Okay.
But that's an okay roll.
All right. So yeah, you get 0 success, 1 advantage. So this first roll is going to be for the Carbine team, and I apologize. I got to open my OneNote and do a little bit of multitasking here. So let's see. Luckily, I got the pages right in front of me. So their piloting skills. So this is going to be 1 green. One green, 3 yellow. So this is for Carbine. This is going to be for.
Don't they get 2 purples?
Oh, they do. You're right. Let me re-roll that. You're good.
Please do.
Yeah. There we go.
That's
Only 4 advantages and 0 successes.
better than 1 success, 5 advantages.
So this is going to be for the Carbine team, or that was the Carbine team. This is going to be the Stormhawks. And this is going to be for Razor. He has, surprisingly good. Let me get rid of that.
Oh, jeez.
2 purples.
Oh, you're right. You're good. I got to get used to that. I'm not used to There we go. 3. All right, that's
Oh,
even done. Hey, 6 advantages can do a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Dun, dun, dun.
Like
Probably more than 3 successes.
Yeah, I mean, so like some of the benefits for the race. So like, if you have multiple successes, you can actually, like, so one example is you can recover. Let me actually post this in Discord for you guys as well. You can recover 1 strain as the wind current shift, just relieving your engine just ever so slightly. So I'm going to post this into Discord so that way I don't have to remember all this, and it'll make things slightly easier for you. So there's a table of things that you can use, your successes, your triumphs, some options for when you have failures and despair that come up. So keep that for a little bit of flavor. So with the dice rolls, we're going to end up with Carbine had 1 success and 1 advantage, which beats, or 5 advantage, which is going to beat out your jockeying for first place. So just as you book it, you have the Carbine kind of, they're keeping up with you just at the same pace. You're neck and neck. And all of a sudden, at the last second, their vehicle just jerks ahead and cuts you off.
You don't have to take that.
Just behind you, however, is the Carbine team. They're standing solo in medium or in kind of second place or third place, and then you have Razor right behind them. Right now, you see kind of on the data pad of your cloud car the location of the first buoy, and you have to round all 7 buoys to make it to the finish of the course. It's a 7-legged race.
Okay.
So while you're booking it, we're going to go and bounce to our other half of the team. And what are you guys doing in the bleachers? Anything? You just watching or mingling?
Watching in horror as our ship falls apart. No, I just want to make sure that there also that you guys did, because like that chart that he showed, you do have the recover 1 system strain with your advantage to use.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to
So-
make sure you get that done.
I'm going to lean over to Arden and kind of whisper, just to where he can hear me. Like, hey, got any kind of pit stops along the route? Do you know?
Leans back over. Pit stops as question mark.
Yeah, little maintenance pullovers in the middle of the race. I don't know how long this is. I'm unfamiliar with the sport, but if there's a chance that we could maybe, I don't know, swing this in our favor a little bit, we could potentially see if we could, nudge the odds.
I guess that would be something that I would need to know in maybe a check to see if that's something that I did know. Is there some way to know if there's a way that I can influence this from outside?
There is. You have a comm link, right?
Okay. Yeah.
You can actually communicate with Delta during the race. If you have the ability to actually see out in advance, so if you can get kind of a better position or have some way to get a view faster than the cameras,
Okay.
you could always relay information to Delta, because Delta's really, their view is going to be limited.
Okay. So we can see from all the, from where we're at, we can see on the screens and everything, we can relay that information. I have to assume the other teams would be doing that too.
Yeah. Other teams could
So-
be doing a lot of things.
No, exactly.
Could you cut off communications for the other teams?
That's a good question. I would like to see if that's possible. Is there like a computer's check that I could get? Is there like a way to see about accessing the others' networks?
If we could blind them entirely, that'd be even better.
So you're thinking of trying to hack the kind of radio towers in the area more or less to
I
block the
think
signal?
about hacking everything.
I'll give it a go.
Okay.
It's going to be a 4 purple check though.
All right. Computers check.
I would say I'd assist you, but I'd probably make it worse.
You can always use those tokens to upgrade your check as well.
Would that be an extra die, or would that be a switch green to a yellow?
I would let you, depending on how you can narratively explain it, I would give you your choice between a boost dice or upgrading a green to a yellow.
Okay. I think that, looking at this, I am, as Ren quickly triggers my thought into going into the whole hacker mode here, I decided to look at the comms towers, realizing that would not be the only team accessing the comm towers, and that I have to look at the other teams that would be doing it as well. I'm looking for any towers along the Bespin cloud line. I'm looking to see if there's anyone else in the stands as well who, might be accessing the data pads as quickly as I am, or possibly even on their comm links themselves. I go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say there's gonna be so many like bookies and gamblers and people, like it's gonna be real hard to discern that in the crowd.
Okay.
Could you discern it with a data pad?
Yeah, I'm just gonna dig into my data pad and start looking for any vulnerabilities in there.
Yeah, that's why it's gonna be the 4 daunting, because there's gonna be so much data transporting right now. So yeah, that's gonna be the 4.
If he can figure out somebody in the crowd, like I can put him down amongst the real quiet, like just gonna go sit behind him and real quick and then walk off.
Let's see what the dice say. We'll leave this to the dice.
Oh, I'm getting invested.
1 success and 1 advantage. So through all the different lines of code that are shooting through your data pad, you actually catch what actually appears to be what you believe Hutsy, or at least things that you've seen typically in Hutsy encryption. So you're going to kind of pull at that thread, and you're going to be able to trace that back to find the comms link for the Carbine team.
Okay. And as my excitement almost, I go to show Ren. I was like, oh, I got something here. And then it clicks on realizing, oh, wait. And he just goes back to himself because he knows that showing Ren is not going to work here. So.
That was fascinating. Do I need to somebody?
I can't see. They all are looking at the data pads. Possibly, I wouldn't know. But I'm gonna keep an eye. I'm gonna keep looking for vulnerabilities in the same system here, because now that I got at least 1 car, I know that I can focus on that 1 car, which seems to be the looks like the carbine team.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, see, I don't know what you're doing, so Ren's gonna lean over and say, "Hey, look, worst comes to worst, scorched earth is always the way to go. Just bring the whole network down."
All right.
Okay.
So we're going to switch over to the racers at this point. So with that, we're going to have the Carbine team. They're currently leading. They're going to keep maintaining their speed. So they're going to get the same dice roll they had before. We're going to do the 2 purple, but they also get a boost dice because they're in first. And essentially what happens is everyone's kind of just was jostling for position at the first bio or buoy. And it happens so quick. Things happen so fast that the next thing you know, the first buoy disappears behind you at tremendous speeds. Enormous clouds loom ahead, largely indistinguishable at first from anything else you've passed. You do start to notice in the distance there's a large number of kind of black dots up ahead around where you believe the third buoy is. So I'm going to roll for the Carbine team, who manages 1 success, 1 advantage. You are right on their tail, however, though, Ugnaught Spit. What would you do? You want to do piloting first, or do you want your co-pilot to do something? How do you guys want to handle this?
I'd like to give my co-pilot a chance to blast out their engines real quick.
Okay. Delta is like during this the first leg, because I didn't take any action. Delta was going to be watching like the 3 other pilots and trying to get like some. She has a neural recorder, so everything she sees she can record actually and send data to her sisters. So she's going to record this and then send the data to her sisters. And if any of these have like, especially that like corporate one, I have suspicions that one's like a model. So that means its strengths and weaknesses are known. So I'd like to try to get like a little bit of information on one of them.
On the
Like
racers or the vehicle?
The vehicle, like a weak points.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for your sister to do a mechanics check. Well,
Okay.
I'd say mechanics or computers, since that you could be looking this up on the net as well.
Okay. I'll go with I'll use my sister that has the knowledge first, because she has since this is something that could be looked up online and not something I have to go to a mechanic for.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's to do. And what's the difficulty?
For this, it is a fairly common model car, but it is going to have some proprietary Mandel Motors information to it. So with this one, we'll make it a 3 purple.
Okay. 1 success, 1 threat.
Okay. So your sister relays some information to you that those model cars, if pushed at too high of strain for too long, those motors have a vulnerability where they can overheat.
Interesting.
However, your sister actually informs you that she believes she's tripped something in the Mandel Motors database, and they are currently locking her out. And her connections are just, as fast as she tries to open new pipes into the database, their firewalls are just shutting them down.
Okay. Well, that should be helpful. If we, I will relay this information to IG. And do you want me to take a shot at the one ahead?
I'm going to say that is going to be your action.
That's fair.
Because the reason I didn't give you an action the first time is since IG gunned it or punched it, there really wasn't much time for you to kind of do anything other than.
I mean, the light was green. What do you expect?
Green means go.
So you relay that information to IG, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. IG, what do you do at this point?
I guess we're gonna keep pushing them.
Okay. So you're gonna keep maintaining speed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully their engine burns out before mine does.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for me. It'll be the same. It'll be your planetary piloting skill with 2 purple. 4 successes, 1 advantage. So you actually managed to actually take the lead over.
Dang.
Yeah. So you take the lead over the carbines. Describe to me how you pull that off. Go and let me know what maneuver do you pull off?
Okay. Well, I took a corner better.
You took a corner better.
I took a corner better faster because I'm a machine and I don't give a fuck about G forces. So there.
So after you shoot past the first buoy, you notice that the second buoy is a sharp turn off to the left. You actually go and see an opening. You drop down real quick to gain an extra boost of acceleration. You dip underneath the carbine team's car and shoot up right in front of them, catching just enough wind to kind of jettison you forward. You also can reduce your strain by 1 if you like, because of the advantage that you got and because of that wind that you caught.
Cool. I will do that as well. So we were at 7 total, 5 the first round, 1 this round, so 5 again.
You were at 5 at the start. 7 is when your car falls apart.
Yeah, we also took us off screen last round too. So
right.
So we're
I think,
still at 5 then.
Well, you were at 5. And
we were at 5.
You were at 5.
Now you're additional 1 this round to maintain speed.
No, you don't take more to maintain speed. When you punch it, it's just when you go.
So we're down to 4 then.
Right. Maintaining speed is just it's a consistent.
We're down to 3 because it's this round we got cooled, and last round we also got cooled because of the advantage you got.
Right.
Oh, okay, cool. So 3 then. That's what a co-pilot's for. Good looking out.
You're welcome. Oh gosh, some of us still have organic brains.
I know. Watching for Delta plaster up against the window as they take that turn.
So the Hawks are behind you guys. They're going to punch it themselves to kind of just give an extra boost of speed. They're going to try and go up 1 rank and do a little. They're going to strain their vehicle to try and catch up. So they're going to do this, and I'm going to give them a setback dice and 2 purple. Managed to pull off 4 successes and 3 threats. So let's see. The buoy's beacon takes you through a large billowing thunderhead, limiting visibility and upgrading the next check once -2 place value. All right. So they actually punch it. They managed to catch up with the carbine team, but in doing so, they actually nick the buoy, which sends them into off course through another cloud, and they're going to have to try and catch up. They actually fall back 2 ranks with trying to be flashy to catch up with you guys. They're actually on par with Razor now, who's going to just kind of maintain a slow and steady wins the race type of attitude.
Yeah.
And let's see, one of the cloud cars within 1 banded range of you falters, decreasing, allowing it to make a break for it. So actually what ends up happening with the slow and steady wins the race, he's going to draft behind every single vehicle at this point, gaining a little bit of extra boost of speed with each draft. He ducks out of the way of the carbine team as it falls back into 4th place. And right now it's actually just creeping ahead of the car. So you have the carbine in 3rd place. You have you guys in 1st place, Razor in 2nd, and the Stormhawks are in 4th right now.
Mm-hmm.
Little confusing, I know. I'm updating.
So we're in what place now?
You're in 1st.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're in
Oh,
first.
wow.
The Stormhawks are in fourth.
And
So-
the Huts are in third.
Okay.
So, Arden, I know you're deep in it. I hate to keep interrupting you, but as interesting as that is, I had an idea.
As he's glancing over the data pad, yeah. What's up? What's up? And he's still going through. He's still trying to access that network or shut that network down.
Now, I don't know how this stuff works that you do, the numbers and diggly doobity doos, but what I do know is that most creatures, provided they have the parts, are a little weak in the ears. And I know that communications networks generally aren't quite so hard to get into. So, do you think you could squelch them, the other racers? Real loud, real high pitched?
It was right before he said that Arden all of a sudden he clicked into his mind and said, "That's the idea he wants to do. He wants to try to like flood the network with noise to try to distract or confuse or do something to the vehicles that are out there."
Okay. For something like that, I would say that'll be a 3 purple computers check. You're gonna kind of do like a feedback loop.
Yeah.
Bren's sitting next to you going, I'm helping.
Can I use the one advantage that I had in the last on the last roll to add a blue
Boost.
die?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll allow it.
All right. Come on. Okay. I can choose to re-roll this if I want to. It's one of my abilities.
Okay.
Do you think that's worth it to use here, or should I save that one? I only get to do it once per game session.
If you got it, don't waste it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and try that again here because I think that's a pretty good.
Sounds like a good
Yeah.
use.
We're not the ones in the air, so.
There we go. I'll take the 2 threats for that one, but yeah, 2 successes.
Okay. So yeah, with that, you actually can hear not just the carbine team, but you actually hear people in close proximity of you. Anyone who has like some kind of like comm earbud in, you just hear kind of a kind of echoing out of their earpieces as multiple people pull off their headsets, throw them to the ground. And you actually notice the carbine vehicle at this time kind of swerves and jerks erratically for a moment.
Okay.
So they will get a setback dice on their next piloting check.
Nice.
Good
I'm
job.
going to kind of like reach under my arm and like the DL high five.
Now, with the threats that you get, though, you actually start to notice there's some people in what looks like business proper uniforms kind of looking around the stands now, kind of like they're scouting out for someone.
Do we both see this?
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
I'm going to actually like reach up and pretend to grab out an earpiece. I'm like, damn it. What the?
Everyone else has already thrown their headpieces on the ground, and a moment later, he's like,
I never said I was good at this. Subtlety is not my strong point.
Business people or legitimate business people?
the latter.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Do you guys want to do anything else, or are you comfortable with that?
I'm sure that was pretty much my turn. So, Ren
spent his turn pulling out an earbud.
Okay. All right.
If I have anything I can do, I'm going to be really eyeballing the potential threats in the area and making sure I'm ready to defend Arden.
Okay. So you kind of just in kind of a guard position.
Yeah, my hands under my cloak on my knives.
Okay.
Okay.
So Delta, some Are you familiar with some of the piloting maneuvers or co-piloting maneuvers you can do?
No.
Okay. So in Discord, under the Jula Yavin channel, you can actually, I have a cheat sheet that's linked in there. So there's different things you can do. You can actually do a co-pilot check, which is,
Really?
Yeah, which is, it's an average 2 piloting check, but for every success, each success downgrades the difficulty of the next piloting check by 1. You can do spoofing missiles, but no one has missiles, so that'd be kind of a wasted one in this race. You can try to help plot out the course on a successful check. Each success reduces a suffered setback difficulty of terrain by 1. Jamming really won't have much of a need for. You can do manual repairs if like your vehicle has any physical damage from being shot. If you want to like try and crawl out on the side of the vehicle to patch it up, that's an option. There's some damage control. You don't have shields. There's fire discipline. You can scan the enemy.
I know one thing I'd want to do right now.
Okay.
Having learned that this one cloud car has a overheating problem, I'd like to help it out.
Okay.
Delta's going to take her cryoban rifle, and she is going to point out the back of the cloud car towards the one that I got information on, the corporate one.
So that one is going, as you like pop out and look behind, so you're kind of sticking out the window ready to shoot. You see the corporate vehicle just disappear into cloud cover as they fall into 4th place. So they're going to be outside of the range from that.
Okay, in that case, never mind that plan. Let's see. I guess since that's squashed, these are. At a glance, while I'm looking out the back, do any of these guys look like they have powerful weapons or anything?
All of them seem to have what appears to be stock weapons. You notice the gunner for the Razor team that just pulled up behind you is actually a droid.
Oh, lovely. I will, in that case, well, I think of something else to do. I'm going to try to give a co-piloting check.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a 2 difficulty piloting check for me.
Okay.
Nice.
2 successes.
Yeah, 2 successes. So yeah, for each success, actually, because of this, you can now IG. You don't add any purples to your roll.
Sweet.
Dang.
Super sweet. All right. So we're still just piloting?
Yeah, since you're in 1st place, you're leading the pack, you get a boost dice added to your roll.
Even better.
So you have no purples and a boost dice. I expect you to have great things. 2 successes, 2 advantages. So with input from QV, you actually just bolt past. You found this jet stream and you're riding it for everything that it's worth. You start to actually creep ahead, you feel, of Razor, who had just caught up to you. I'm going to roll for him now.
Oh.
Ouch.
Yeah, he's...
That team has got to go.
So Razor, who hasn't like punched it at all and has been actually maintaining a 3 speed, has actually just, because of catching drafts and the same jet stream that you're on, you see him kind of just pull up alongside you, just kind of give you like the shit-eating grin, and pulls in front of your vehicle.
Did he do that to IG?
Yeah.
He gave IG the doo-doo grin.
Yes.
like the whole Maverick and Top Gun, flying upside down above him as he
Yeah.
flies by.
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't think he realizes who he just crossed.
IG, keep him steady. I think I might have a present for him.
Keep him alive.
Oh,
So then
he mad.
we're gonna have the Carbine team, who's with this. You guys are gaining even more distance on the Hut sponsored Carbine team. All right, 1 success, 4 advantages.
Jeez.
Yeah, these guys are rolling really good.
It doesn't make sense because we're only down 1 yellow die. They're getting way better rolls than us.
Yeah.
Them's the breaks.
I know.
So seeing the maneuvering of the two teams in front, the Carbine team has found kind of the sweet spot of the jet stream as well. And he shoots up, and now he's right on the Ugnaught Spit's tail. And then we have the Stormhawks, the corporate sponsored team, in 4th place, have fallen well behind. In cloud cover, low visibility, having a difficult time trying to make their way out of this to catch up. 2 setback dice. They managed to make 2 successes to get out of the cloud cover. They're still going to maintain being well into 4th place. And in the process, they've obtained 2 threats. So they're going to have another setback dice as they're trying to get caught back up. They're not maintaining kind of a straight race. They're kind of swerving all over the place, fishtailing a little bit, and they're going to have to level off before they'll be able to really catch up to the team. With that, you actually hit the 3rd buoy of the race. And with that, those black dots that were up ahead, you actually start to notice they're moving slower than you, but they're still moving at a high speed. And as you start to approach them, they appear to be some kind of animal. So the next round we'll go and cover that. What are you guys doing in the stands?
Well, we've seen a slight shift there.
Yeah.
We need to find out a way to take one of these out. Like, is there any way we can fry their onboard computer system or anything? Or maybe reverse their navigation?
I like to think so. I can definitely look into that. I think that's something. Is there any way that and I'm talking to you, Ren, is there any way we can give an advantage to our team? I see that we have very similar dice to them. I want to see how can we give them advantages. What do we see that they can't, that we can relay to them?
Well, maybe we could get up. It's not really short of us getting on an exterior craft and going out over the race for a bird's eye view. Like where we're sitting here in the stands, we're not
got
really much
Videotrons to go off of too. We can actually give them a heads up on what's coming. Like these, the things that are coming up. We can give them advice on those, and at least give them some sort of boost dice on that. Something to give them.
Is there any way that you could get a control over one of these cameras? Maybe is it a drone or something? Maybe we could actually get.
Yeah, I would like to see about doing something like that. Accessing the drones to be able to see what's up ahead, give a advantage somehow to the racers.
So you want to try and hack the cameras to get kind of a quicker unedited feed?
Yeah, sounds great.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be a 3 purple because there's going to be some heavy encryption there.
Okay. Anything you can do to help, Ren?
I'm keeping an eye on the unfriendlies. If they start noticing or paying too much attention, I'm going to squirrel you out of here.
Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and roll this then. Oh, boy. Okay. 2 failures, 1 advantage.
Yeah, you
I failed.
yeah, you failed. However, in the process, you feel like you might have unlocked a piece of code if you wanted to attempt again. However, because of the 2 failures, you're gonna notice that those professionals that were in the crowd are talking on the comms, and they kind of look around and they've kind of narrowed their focus of the search more in your direction.
Time to go, Ren.
Yep. Stand up slowly. Laugh. Talk to me about something stupid, and let's just head towards the bar.
Ha ha ha! We are gonna die. Slowly, and starts to walk away towards the bar. You know, the data pad's just it's attached to me, like the belt is just like I let go of it, just kind of slides down, and as I get up and go, and
I'm gonna actually like lead him along, kind of put my arm around his shoulder and lead him along so he can keep working on the data pad while we're walking.
Okay, that works.
Right.
So we're gonna go back to our racers. And what you notice is as you blast past the 3rd buoy, making it through the first kind of straightaway of the race, from what you did of observing the map before the race, you know that the rest of the race isn't going to be so much of a straightaway. There's going to be more turns, more obstacles. You're going to have to be kind of on your toes a bit more. This part of the race specifically, those life forms that you kind of noticed, as you quickly gain on them, you actually notice they're these large insect-like creatures flying in 2 sets. They have wings, and they look kind of like stingrays, these insect stingrays flying in this clouds. And they have this erratic flight pattern, which, to avoid colliding with them and dying in a fiery death, you're going to have 2 setback dice applied to your piloting checks this round. So, Ugnaught Spit, you're in second. You have to wait. So let me switch over to this, and we're going to have Razor roll first. Razor's going to have 2 purple, 2 setback, and 1 blue for being in first. Just 1 straight success. Now's your time. They managed to, they're flying. They managed to overtake these insect creatures without colliding with them. They have to jerk and jive and dive to avoid colliding, but they managed to come out without rubbing up against any of them. This brings up Ugnaught Spit.
Okay. As they're like jerking and jiving through these things, Delta is going to actually take out her pistol. It's just like this little thing. It's like, okay, and she's going to aim it. She got the nice heavy cable this time, and she's going to try to fire her Ascension pistol at to try to grapple the vehicle in front of her.
Okay.
That is so awesome.
Let's roll.
Okay.
The vehicle's big enough to where it would normally be just like 1 purple or a pretty routine thing. However, as the car's flight pattern's kind of erratic, and you have the animals here, we're gonna make it I'll be nice. Let's go with the 2 purple because I want to see where this is gonna go.
Okay.
However, I'm gonna give you 1 setback as well, as I flip one of my dark side tokens.
I was just about to ask if I could use a lance token.
I flip that as one of the these animals. They're called Tybanux. He kind of shoots past your cloud car as it kind of dives down, throwing your aim off ever so slightly, so you're gonna have a setback because of that.
Okay. I am going to take the shot. Let's see. 2 successes, 1 threat.
Okay. So you latch on, and you latch on good. And as soon as your gun latches on, you feel like you're being jerked out of the vehicle.
Okay, well, this isn't fun. Like she's like holding on. Is like, no. Okay.
Your body is gonna take one strain as you kind of put your feet against the dashboard of the cloud car and make yourself as big as possible to kind of wedge yourself into the seat from trying to be pulled out.
I like grunting, one eye like glances over to IG. Make the most of this.
The player in me wants to see him pulled out so bad.
I mean, if I'm pulled out, I know where I'm going.
So I'm not quite sure how this is going to give your vehicle an advantage, but IG, I'm open to your sales pitch. This needs to be IG's sales pitch too.
He's thinking.
Did IG die of laughter?
A little bit.
Nobody likes that, Eric.
I know. I'm trying to think if we could do some stupid, risky, like.
The answer to
fulcrum.
that is yes.
Do
And
it.
Always.
It just
whip them around,
Yes.
into it like a suplex or something.
you have 3 light side tokens that you can use to try and upgrade your roll. You just got to give me a narrative to justify it.
Okay. Delta,
Mhm.
hold on as tight as you fucking can. Like, bolt that rope to something structural here.
You see, like Delta, like her arm, like a small pile drive goes tick, tick, into the side of the car. Go, hurry!
All right. So we're gonna flip a 360 vertically and just kind of like use that momentum and the slack in the rope that's kind of latched onto the car to like ahead of us to just whip them around and like a bullwhip.
Are we
With
gonna
a
throw him
spaceship
into one
on
of these bugs?
and we're just gonna like bullwhip this bitch somewhere, and then hopefully we can release it without getting pulled along,
All right.
and
So
then spin off on our way.
I'll allow
And
it.
use a light side token for this.
All right. Use the light side token.
Yeah.
Build your pull dice, your piloting pull dice.
Okay.
Get rid of one of your greens and add a yellow.
Okay.
Add 5 purple dice
Oh,
to your
Total
pull.
5 or 5
5
additional.
5 total purple dice
Okay.
to your pull.
Okay.
And 2 blacks for having to navigate around these animals.
All right. That's a lot of dice.
That is a lot of negative dice.
Uh-oh.
is there anything I can do with taking extra strain to help?
No, the good news. The good news is nothing drastic happens. What ends up happening is I got to think of how to explain this. So what ends up
Need
happening
break.
is because of your erratic flight pattern, the line to the rope snaps, and the tension that was there is now gone, alleviating the stress on QV. However, you overcompensated for the lack of that strain, and you fall back, possibly behind the next racer, depending on how they roll, as you've lost a little bit of momentum because you were compensating, you were doing the calculation and the math for having the tension of that rope, and that's now gone.
Sad noises.
So now we're gonna have the carbine team roll. They get the same.
That's the next team, right?
That's the next team. That's the hut team.
Oh my.
Jeez.
So this actually works out narratively great just because of what just occurred right now with you.
Purple.
Oh, you're right. I'm going to add these in.
Okay.
I'm going to re-roll the whole thing for you. I'm going to re-roll the
Thank
whole
you.
thing for you.
You're a kind and merciful God. Rolls
Now,
3 triumphs.
Now, that being
I
said,
know.
I keep forgetting to add purple. I re-roll myself, but if you guys ever forget to add purple, I'm going to make you re-roll too, just so everything's
Okay.
fair.
Fair enough.
But no, call that out because I have a lot of things going through my head and I'm going to miss those every now and then. 1 success, 3
Okay.
advantage.
That's okay.
Still works out narratively because right now you just lost that tension. So you have actually now fallen back behind the carbine team. So you're in 3rd place now. We have Razor still in 1st place. We have the Hut's carbines after you. And then we have to see still if the Stormhawks are able to catch up at all. They still have not only the 2 setback dice from having to navigate these creatures, they have the setback dice from their whole erratic flight pattern. So they actually fail and they lose momentum. So they actually slow down in hopes of straightening out their flight path and to avoid crashing into any of these Tybanuks.
You also forgot the purples again.
Ah, blasted. See, it'd be easier if the vehicles could be put into here just so I can click the rolls
Yeah.
like you guys do. I've been spoiled by technology.
Watch them get a better roll now, though.
0
Nope.
successes, 1 advantage. So it actually is better because they don't have to slow down to level out. They manage to actually level out without slowing down, but they're still well behind the pack. So this corporate team, like you guys, you did a number on them sabotaging their vehicle.
What about the other car we sabotaged?
Do you remember whose that was?
Yes.
Do you?
Yes, I do. And
I
I
do.
swear I'm not making it up. It's Razor and the Droid.
That is true.
We sabotaged their fuel.
They're gonna run out of fuel.
Okay.
Yes, but it's a matter of when.
This is a matter of when. I didn't
Yeah.
get too metagamey.
Yeah, I've accounted for that.
Okay, cool. Just make sure everybody still remembers everything we did. Got it.
Yeah, it's actually gonna be nice because if they maintain 1st place, it's going to work out thematically when it happens. I have a leg of the race where I actually plan on triggering that.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. So we want to bounce back to the crowd at this point.
So have we made it to the bar?
Yeah.
Mingling in with the crowd that I'm assuming is there.
Yeah, there's a whole
Okay.
new crowd, a lot of people. are like there's a lot of really frustrated people because so many people bet on the Stormhawks after hearing they got their replacement car, and just seeing how far behind in this race that they are. A lot of people are just sinking their feelings into a glass of Ugnaught spit.
So I'm going to find the deepest, darkest corner of this room, and I'm going to drag Arden, since I've got my arm around him, so he can work while I guide him through the room. And I'm going to sit him down and then just kind of sit next to him, but like obscure him from, obvious eyes. Kind of like just lean over with my cloak out and everything, and kind of watch the room and let him work without having to worry about, prying eyes.
Okay. As I get back onto my data pad, I start looking around. I'm looking for I want to access more of the network. I'm trying to figure out loopholes that I could break, that I could exploit. I tried accessing the drone cams. I got the audio feed. I'm trying to think if there's a way to.
How smart are you? This is Ren asking.
Okay. I can quite well take care of myself. I got a lot of information in my head. What do you got? What are you thinking?
Well, like I said, I don't know computers, but those critters out there flying with them.
I wouldn't have any idea.
Do you think maybe there's a tone or something you could pulse off of one of those vehicles that might attract them?
As I start thinking about all the options, I start thinking of, is there a way to access any of their fire controls to actually fire at these creatures?
If you can get access to the firing controls, we can go really crazy.
Some fire controls, something to get, not even if it wasn't just a aim and shoot, but just something to maybe trigger these creatures to attack one of the other cars. And I need to figure out how to access another network besides the Carbine team. Well, actually, there's a second.
But you said, didn't you say you'd picked out the Huddies?
Yeah,
Yep,
they're
that's
in the
the
second
Carbine.
place right now, so I guess we could go for them.
Yeah, let's knock them out.
I'm gonna see if there's something that I can do to access that network and make that car a target for those creatures.
So you weren't able to hack the camera for the droid last time, right? So you don't actually have control of the unit to really do that. But what you do actually notice is as you're going through all of these feeds, you actually see on some of the unfiltered camera lines that are coming in, the obstacle that appears on the next leg of the race, and where the third leg of the race had multiple small Tybanox roaming in packs of 2, the next leg of the race actually has these large, massive floating Beldons. They're, from the camera angles that you get, they appeared to be these massive jellyfish-like creatures floating in the sky.
Right.
They have this purplish hue, and they just inflate and deflate, inflate and deflate.
Okay. So, with that information, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use this turn to give an advantage to our team. I'm going to let them know what's coming up and how to avoid them, how to get around them, or I have the feed ahead of time before it's actually being displayed to everyone else, so that I can give them that advantage before the other teams even get it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd give a bonus to Ugnaught Spit's next piloting check.
Okay. All All right, and
Nice.
I reach out, and I'm gonna because Delta, you're the one that has the comm, right? Or can I
Yeah.
reach IG either? Can I reach either one of you? I'm sorry, I don't know. I remember if IG has a comm or not.
She has the comm, and it's basically
Okay.
on open frequency.
All right,
for you
so
guys.
I'm reaching out to Delta saying, hey, I inform of the Beldon's coming up, and I tell them that the positioning, and with my data, I can send the coordinates of that information to the car or to you, so you can plug that into so IG's aware of where to go and how to avoid them.
So QV, just as this information gets relayed to you, is around the same time that the wire of your gun has snapped.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thanks for that. IG, did you pick that up?
Confirm.
And this is about the time we're actually seeing it on screen what just happened, and we're all going, what the hell?
Trying to get a little fancy. Can't blame us. We almost got it.
You hear Ren over his comm going, I approve.
It was a cool maneuver.
Anyways, I got another plan coming up. Especially that involves our little friends. Let's see if I can aim right though.
So did you manage to hack their guns?
I'm trying to get their networks. I'm just not seeing it here. They've got it locked down pretty good. I'll get in.
Yeah.
I'll get in. And as I keep trying to access anything I can.
I'll keep giving him cover and watching the people in the room and make sure nobody's watching us.
Okay. So you approach. So you've passed buoy 4, and the ranks of the strange winged creatures thin and disappear shortly before you pass the 4th buoy. But you have little time to breathe easy. Massive bloats begin to appear on your sensors array, and your speed soon hurtles you into a horde of massive jellyfish-like creatures drifting slowly through the clouds. You're not sure what will happen if you hit one of them, but it's probably best not to find out.
Can I take a shot?
Yeah, shoot one of them. Is there a jelly next to the razor or the carbines as we're pulling through them?
Depends how the dice rolls go. We're going to start with Razor, since we're going in order of who's first. I'm going to have them roll first.
Mm-hmm.
So let me see how their dice rolls turn out. So in first place, we have Razor. So
IG would like to just suggest to the gunner, Delta, as we're approaching these things, that they might be explosive, given this is a gas giant and these things are floating in it.
Mm-hmm.
If you get an opportunity to take an area of effect attack onto one of the opposing cloud cars as we're getting through here, do it.
Okay.
So this leg of the race is going to have 1 black dice added to everyone's pool, because you're going to have to navigate around these massive bulks, but it's not as hard as it was with the Tybanux.
Uh-huh.
The Razor card is going to have a 2nd black dice added to account for the line snapping on their side as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they have 1 failure and 3 advantages. So they actually lose speed because of this. They've actually dropped from a speed of 5 down to a speed of 4, as they have to account for the line snapping. Carbine team is going to roll. See, I added the 2 purple. I'm remembering.
Mm-hmm. We're very proud of you.
Thank you. The Carbine team is going to have 3 successes, 2 threats.
Ooh.
I like the threats. That means it's near them.
So it actually, you'll like this in a minute. And you guys roll. So I'm going to have all 3 people roll before we narratively explain what happens here.
Okay. Just a success.
All right.
It's good enough.
So, did you guys want to do shooting as well?
Yeah. So, question:
Mhm.
What would be easier, cryoban rifle to hit the back one of the engines? Because I'm seeing these things as like they're two engines, right?
So
Yeah.
The
Doesn't-
car has guns.
I was gonna say the cloud car's got guns.
It does.
Like you're sitting in a pod with a joystick, and
Cryoban rifle to the ice the one of the engines to basically temporarily cover it up so that they're only firing out of one. Which, if you're only firing out of one engine, you're going to swerve. Or would it be easier to shoot one of these things next to this thing?
I think
it would be much easier to shoot one of the things next to it because it's a big, massive, bulking creature.
Okay, I'm going to take a gunnery and shoot that thing then.
Okay. Go ahead, add 1 purple.
Okay. Gunnery. There it is. And 1 purple. Roll dice. 4 successes.
You nail this thing. I want you to roll a force dice for me.
Okay. 2 light side.
So you nail this thing and you see frost ripple across the surface of this Beldon skin. And its jelly-like fish arms start to flail as it reacts to the freezing temperature alongside its skin. Now I'm just going to say if you had rolled 2 black, this thing would have exploded. But since you didn't, I'm going to say that its arms are flailing, and while it doesn't impact the flight difficulty for the other racers who are like right up on it, it is going to impact the Stormhawks, who now have to react for these arms that are now jerking erratically throughout the air. Because a lot of you, so like you, the Carbine, and Razor are all kind of neck and neck at the same time. So you're all flying around this and reacting kind of around the same time to after the fact that it's reacting to the freezing.
Does it change anything that I actually use the cannons and not my cryoban rifle? Because I used gunnery.
No. It would change the description from being ice to scorch marks.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same thing though in terms of reaction. Because it's just that light side was you would have hit it no matter what, but it's just, is it going to blow up or not?
I see.
I was really hoping it was going to blow up. There's a lot of really cool thematic things that would happen.
I was hoping it was
It's not too late.
No,
not too
because you would have been caught in the backdraft.
I can handle that.
I mean, I have no organics with which a blast radius could damage.
I'm explicitly resistant to being blown up.
So
That's okay. There might be another one.
So right now, Razor actually loses a point of speed and has to fall back because of the failure. The Carbines move up to first place. You move up to second place. And as you're moving up and Razor's falling back, he kind of just looks at you, and that shit-eating grin that was on his face before has just been replaced with him yelling and screaming at his droid.
Ah.
We'll remember.
Feeling we're about to get shot.
How's the bar looking?
I think you're muted, Arden.
You are right. I was.
I was like, have I been muted this entire description? That's horrible.
Okay. I need to figure out a new way to get into these systems. I need to access the first place team's systems now. Who's that is in first place? It's not Carbine. It's the
Carbine's in first place right now. Razor just
Carbine is
Razor
okay. Yeah,
Razor just has fallen
I'm
back
still
to
in
third.
Carbines. Okay. I need to figure out a way to access their systems. So I would like to figure out using the computers how to somehow get into. God, is there a way to possibly get into their systems? I mean, I've already
Yeah.
I've gotten to their comms. I've heard videos. I mean, I'm trying to exploit any way I can. Do I need to make a check to do this, or
Yeah,
is there
what electronic system do you want to exploit?
let's go for navigation, like controls.
Okay. Yeah, you can. I mean, that'd be electronical. It's all GPS
Okay.
based. You can get into that
Okay.
potentially. That would be. I'd say that'd be a 2, since you've already
Okay.
broken into their comm systems. You're familiar with their encryption protocols. It'd be 2 purple.
Okay. See if I can do that.
Do it to it.
Okay.
Yeah. Now we're talking.
Okay. That's important.
Yeah. So you get in. Now that you're in, what do you want to do?
I want to give any disadvantage to their controls. I mean, I would like to take control of their system, but I just think that's a little.
Yeah, you won't be able to like take control of their car,
yeah.
but you can take control of their navigation system.
Yeah, I would like to give them. I would like to be able to continually try to add setbacks to their rolls.
Okay.
And I mean, if that's even just like me continually trying to do a computer's check to keep doing it, that I'm cool with that. Just something to do like that. Okay.
Like, what are you trying to do to their nav system, though? Are you like trying to
let's see.
change
Okay.
the location of the buoys? Are you trying to blank
No,
it out?
Let's just make it, not like when they turn left, it goes right, but not all the time, just every now and then.
So that would be more of like flight controls rather than the
Okay.
nav.
All right,
Like the nav system would
Okay,
be more
sure.
the GPS, the mapping, things of that nature.
Just skew their compass off just a little
Yeah.
bit.
So
The navigation because
it looks like there's gas up ahead that'll like reduce visibility, maybe.
Ooh,
So
yeah.
maybe set a
Okay.
delayed thing that like once we get into that area, it like their navigation computer just gets fucky and.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. Kind of like the whole what's a movie Die Hard where Die Hard 2 where they adjust the level of the field so they don't know where they're going. It's like everything's just off. Like their buoys like 100 yards closer than what they thought or whatever it was, And so it throws all their navigation systems out. It gives them that setback die every time. I start just messing with the numbers. I start throwing in all kinds of random numbers into their fields.
Okay. Yeah, that'll definitely add a setback dice to their flight pattern.
Nice.
Okay. And I get this grin that pops up on my face for the fact that I actually accessed the network on a car flying, however kilometers away.
All right. Ren, what are you doing during this time?
I'm actually being remarkably quiet and attentive.
I know that's what makes me nervous.
The moment that there's trouble, that's probably going to change drastically. But no, I'm fully aware of what's riding on this. Like as crazy as Ren can be, like he knows this is his moment to step back and just be the wall rather than breaking through it.
Okay.
Which Arden is completely thankful for.
So we're going to shift gears back to the race.
Mm-hmm.
All the racers have successfully made it past. Oh, you know who I didn't roll for last time? I didn't roll for Carbine.
Guys, like got a really bad time right now.
Yeah.
Take that penalty die.
What?
Did you add the extra penalty die?
The 3,
Okay.
yeah. The 3 black. So that's for Carbine's last leg of the race. That's how far behind he was.
Oh, Stormhawks.
Oh yeah, not Carbine. You're right. The Stormhawks. That's what I meant.
Can we take 5? I gotta use the head.
Yeah. Is everyone okay with taking maybe a 5-minute break right now?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
Yes, thank you.
No problem. All right, we'll be back in about 5 minutes, and we should be able to finish off the race tonight, I believe. It's only 3 legs
Excellent.
left.
Oh yeah, yeah. I will be right back then. As
Right.
soon as we get the BRB screen.
It should be coming up now. We are back. All right. So we're moving into the fifth arm of the race, heading towards the sixth buoy. And at this point, the fifth buoy disappears behind you. And the sensor array is already pinging the distant sixth buoy. Finally, free of the territory of the native life forms, the sky seems clear, almost tranquil, until a well-aimed blaster shot streaks bright and hot across your starboard bow.
Oh, that son of a bitch.
Did Razor just shoot at IG?
Someone did.
Oh no, there's a sniper. Interesting. Let's give him something to shoot at, shall we? GM, can I initiate that plan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because right now we'll say that you and Carbine are kind of jockeying for position. You're kind of bumping, rubbing right now.
Okay. I look at the side for the cockpit, and I'm going to aim that little I'm going to take the other one, aim it, and I'm going to fire and see if I can't grapple onto their thing.
Okay. Since they're right next to you, I'll make that one purple. This is an easy.
Okay, let's see here. 2 successes.
2 successes. And it launches, and where do you want to hit? Like the front of the car, the nose of it?
I'd like to get like right on like that spot in front of the car, in front of the driver's seat.
Okay. Yeah, you launch your grappling hook, and it sinks well into the metal of the vehicle, and you got a firm grip onto it.
Okay. I will unbuckle myself from, I'll undo the safety clip I had from our car, and I'm going to reel myself through the air towards them.
Okay.
Making myself vulnerable. And as I'm going, I will burn an extra point of strain to take a second maneuver and activate my shield around me.
Okay. So you're kind of just like riding this thing like a wild bronco?
Yep, I'm slowly being dragged towards it.
Okay.
But I think I'll take another round before I can get on and take another action against them.
Yeah.
I hope Delta's ready to kill somebody in this moment.
So right now I'm gonna have go ahead and roll for me a piloting check. IG. You don't have. It's just gonna be 2 purple.
How tough is this one?
It's just gonna be 2 purple. This is kind of a tranquil area. There's not any setbacks or things you have to navigate around.
Okay. Do I have any boosts or anything from anybody doing anything awesome?
No, if anything, you're a little off put by what Delta just did.
Yeah, I would say. That was not
Good
loud.
luck! Off put my ass!
Damn.
All right. No, we weren't off put at all. This is absolutely
Good.
part of machine dominance.
Godspeed, machine sister.
So this is what's going to be interesting. IG, you jump ahead essentially 2 places because of that triumph. You catch the jet stream again that you had lost navigating around the obstacles, and it just jettisons you past the Carbine team.
Uh-oh. So now I'm in first place without a gunner.
Correct. The
Vehicle's lighter.
Yeah.
It only shoots forward anyway, so
That's true. The vehicle is actually, the Carbine team is actually going to move into your drift pattern. So QV, while you're kind of dragging yourself in, you kind of get whipped in one direction as the vehicle kind of shoots over behind to try and catch the drift of IG. You actually notice that you're reeling yourself in a little bit quicker at this point as the car catches the drift and jettisons itself towards you.
Okay.
So you now have a bunch of extra slack that you're winding in, but you kind of you slam up against the hood of the vehicle.
Oh, that's smart.
I want
Like-
I want you to take a point of strain for me as you just feel like your ribs push in against your organs, even through any armor you're wearing.
Like the one arm like dangles a little bit loosely, kind of like having bounced off, but the mechanical, like the cybernetic arm, just like grips like iron, like.
Yeah, I want to make a hopeful prediction, if I may. I want to say that Delta's going to rip the pilot out, jump in, and start taking down the other vehicles with her new ride. That's my prediction.
Listen, I can't throw him out. That would kill him.
I was going to say
Unfortunately.
that will disqualify you from the race.
However, rolling attacks deal non-lethal damage. Well, when you want them to.
Wait, but if he's knocked out and crashes and dies, isn't that the same as you killing him?
Depends on how well you roll on your something dice.
I mean, this is being broadcast.
Accidents happen. I mean, accidents happen. As like if he hits the person over the head and their skull cracks open and it's on camera, it's a lot harder. Maybe you have a hacker who has control of the camera systems. I don't know. Just saying. Things
I'll
happen.
erase all evidence.
Right. I mean, this is Star Wars. Things happen.
Things happen, Downey.
This is fair.
Red will be very impressed with you if you do murder somebody on camera, though.
So, however, Ugnaught Spit is now in first place. But as you
Final
take
finish,
first
boys.
place, and as you're crashing into the Carbine's vehicles, you notice blasters are whizzing past the Carbine's vehicle as Razor is opening fire on the vehicle in front of him.
Oh, lovely.
So he hasn't actually sped up at all. And it seems like the pilot is taking a chance to level itself out and give his gunner the most opportune shot. So the pilot's gonna take his turn aiming.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to add a bonus dice onto the gunner shot. And this is going to be the K476A gunner droid. And he will roll those, and this will be 2 purple and a bonus.
Oh.
Yeah, his guns definitely sink into. I'm just checking the armor on it. So it's an armor 2. So it actually absorbs 2 points of the damage.
Okay.
So you actually notice the starboard side of the ship now has just this massive blaster hole that has started to eat into the armor of the Carbine's vehicle as it just lands a money shot on the vehicle. It misses any critical parts, but you can see the armor is starting to weaken on the starboard side.
I see. And they're right on our tail?
The
Carbine's tail?
They're one range behind, so they're medium range. So they still have a bit of a ways to go to catch up. And you kind of get the sense that Razor's more focusing at this point on trying to disable those in front of him to try and catch up than trying to maneuver his way into position.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, but you see blaster bolts coming from even behind Razor as the Stormhawks have the same mentality and are opening fire on Razor's vehicle. So this will be 2 that, 2 purple. So those 3 shots, they have a land a glancing blow on Razor, and as you see, sparks flash off of Razor's rear of their vehicle. And that takes us back to the bar.
So I can still see the Jumbotron and everything, right?
Yeah, as the crowds are actually starting to cheer in the bar, as this is the first time they've actually seen the vehicles actually open fire on each other than QV's heroic grappling hook maneuvers. They want blood at this point.
So watching this happen and knowing that my people are kind of in harm's way of both of the trigger happy teams, I'm going to kind of lean back and say, and this is just Ren being Ren, his knee-jerk reaction, I need you to shut down life support in Razor's vehicle.
Yeah, that's I'll get on that. I don't know if I can.
You've got this. It's important. If you shut down his life support, his vehicle will stall and crash into the one behind him.
You know, that's interesting. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to.
Looking for it.
Do it.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll try to access the next network for the Razor team, because that's if we can, now that our team is on Carbine's car, I don't want to be throwing that thing around. So I'm gonna abandon that, and I'm gonna go after Razors to hopefully take out the next team there, because they need to stop shooting at our team. I'm gonna see about accessing the comms or networks on that one as well.
Okay. So which you're doing this on Razor's vehicle?
Yeah, they're third place,
The-
right?
The clunker.
Yeah. That is you're gonna be like, you go to hack their system and you're like, wow, this is really antiquated. It's gonna be 1 purple. There's like barely any encryption.
Okay. Well, let's
Nice.
see what I can do with this. So, okay, 3 successes,
Nice.
1 threat. All right.
Yeah, so you're in, no problem. You actually hear Razor yelling and screaming at his droid to shoot the son of a bitch in front of him.
All right. In that essence, I flood their comms with, even between the 2 pilots, I flood their comms between each other where they can't even talk, with the squelching sound, just an overwhelming screeching sound that goes through their networks, so that they can't communicate, the pilot and co-pilot, and hopefully that will give them a chance to miss or give a disadvantage on the next roll. Well, I don't have that. I have a threat, so I don't know how to parse 3 successes. So
For the hacking?
yeah, I don't know how to. I got a threat, so I can't sit here and dictate where
Yes.
I'm not sure what the result of this 3 successes would be.
Now
that I'm in.
So the threat would be more, you suffer, like you could suffer a strain or a setback in terms of like, I don't know, you cheer as soon as you get in and people are looking at you, so you've drawn attention of the crowd, and if there's any security personnel, they're kind of eyeballing you suspiciously now, because
That's appropriate.
yeah.
Strain,
And
I
then
think.
we'll say you get into it and like you've like negated their defenses, and
Okay.
they have a setback on
Okay.
both pretty much any of their roles.
All right.
Ren,
Did you-
still hanging
Did
out?
you do it? Is he cut off? Is he about to die?
I'm in. I can't. I haven't cut them off yet, but I'm in. I got them. I've disabled or I've disoriented them for now.
So like classic Ren here. You know, I'm kind of hulked over the table, kind of trying to obscure him. I'm actually going to turn around and like get right here in his face, you know, classic Ren style, and just be like, kill him.
Gosh. I don't think he needs life support to exist up here, but it's still good to have extra oxygen for these turns.
Ren likes IG. This is aggravating him.
Arden's got the message. As he stares him, he looks him in the eye, almost with this fear, like, what's gonna happen if I don't?
So
Me.
we're gonna cut back to the racers, and as you shoot past buoy 6, you notice that the air in this area, actually, while wide open and visibly you can see well, the color of the air has taken on this like greenish hue in color. And QV, describe to me how you breathe, like, because do you have any?
Yes, I actually have a breather mask on. It's in my equipment.
So you notice it's actually kind of started to whirl, and you can tell that it's actually starting to filter out certain gases and toxins in the air.
I see.
Normally, if you're inside a vehicle, you'd be safe since you're riding this thing like a wild beast. You're having to filter out these gases. Since IG is the first racer to enter this area because of the Triumph, and you've gained a burst of speed, I need you to roll me a force dice before you roll your piloting check.
Okay, that's not good.
Yeah, that is really good. Now roll. No, because actually he's still in the same. Now I have to roll for Carbine.
What? Why? I'm in first place.
You're in first place, but you're in the same band. You're like, you're ahead, but you're still kind of close combat.
Okay.
Yes. So you enter. And it's yes, because this is gonna be exciting. So as you enter the gases, you shoot through the gas, no problem. You seem to find all the sweet spots. You're not slowing down. You maintain your momentum. Roll that piloting check for me, because this is where.
Nice.
All right, that's actually pretty good. As the second ship enters into the atmosphere, you notice the green hue in the air starts to take on this. You notice these sparks kind of forming in the air around you, QV.
Is my exhaust gonna?
Yeah.
QV just take a moment and go like, oh, thank goodness I got the blast resistance.
Yeah. It's kind of like in slow motion as all this is happening. You notice the air goes from these small like firefly sparks forming around you to them multiplying, and all of a sudden the air is on fire.
Okay.
The gases have been ignited.
It's on fire. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't think that feature would come into effect at all for me.
So I need
There you go.
for this piloting skill. It's been upgraded to, this is the Carbine team. This is going to become a 3 difficulty with a setback for the Carbine team's roll. And they fail it. They actually take the force of the explosion dead on.
Nice.
They, between the damage that they took from Razor's shot and the bulk of this explosion, you start to see the metal plating where that Carbine shot had weakened the armor just start to melt, exposing the electronics behind the armor. Those wires go up in flames. You start to see the lights of the control panels inside of the vehicle start to flicker and flash, and then all of a sudden go black. The speed of the vehicle is drastically decelerating.
Okay. So this one's likely out of commission then.
It would appear so. Now, explain to me what you're doing during the world lighting on fire.
Okay. First thing I should know, my armor, I wear the Fabricator's Protective Gear armor, which gives extra bonus of soak against blast damage, and I ignore effects of fires and acids of a rating of 1 to 2. So she's, and it's environmentally sealed. So she's actually pretty resistant to a lot of this. She might still take some damage, but like, out of all the people to be in this situation on fire,
You're gonna take 1 wound.
okay, that's completely fair.
Yep. No, I mean, it's like with everything you have, like you literally are the perfect person to have like pulled this off in this realm. Which is like, as soon as we entered here and you did this, I was like, someone like this on fire.
You were hoping I'd burn, though.
I don't want you dead. I just maybe bedridden.
Need to get one of those suits for Ren.
Well, this is an interesting situation because I'm stuck on this vehicle, but we're still ahead of the guy trying to fly behind us.
Yeah, and
which
the force wave of this explosion is going to ripple through the air, and it's going to slam into Razor and the Stormhawks, making them have to compensate and making their piloting skills even that more difficult.
Oh, okay, let's make it more difficult, shall we?
Burn a force die. Some cool like ride the explosive wave shit.
Oh my! I kind of want to burn a force die to ride the explosive wave onto Razor's car.
Go for it. I approve.
Is that something I can actually do?
You
in
might
Star Wars, yes.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, in
may
Star Wars, absolutely.
You may die, but
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
And it would show machine superiority if your character was able to like calculate that on the fly.
True.
Okay, I think I'll spend a force die to have me fly off of this car, and actually, and towards Razor's, and I'd like, as I'm going towards the car, I want to like realize, okay, the trajectory, I'm on course for it. I want to take my fists and I will want to punch through the windows to land in the cockpit.
So just to be fair, that will up the difficulty significantly versus just trying to propel yourself to land safely on the other vehicle.
Okay.
You can still do it, and I encourage it. That being said, it will be more difficult.
I mean, I can land first and then punch later, right?
You can.
Or you could fire your grappling hook while in midair into the cockpit, impaling the pilot. Ren would love that.
And get you disqualified.
Well, technically, she's not actually racing right now, though, is she?
What would be the DC of the flying punch, GM? I need to know.
That'll be a 4 purple.
Let's do this. Can I roll? Can I roll brawl for it?
I'll allow it.
Okay, I'm going to go for it. Let's see.
Boy.
So
Fingers crossed.
before you do it, I'm gonna roll Ray's piloting,
Okay.
and I want you to roll your brawl because we're gonna compare the two. Because you're
Okay.
not gonna know necessarily the flight of the ship perfectly,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to leave this to chance to see what happens.
And I'm going to give that bonus die there, so I'm going to spend a force die, so there we go.
Is there any setback due to my interference with them previously?
Yeah, there is gonna be.
Okay.
And the shockwave he's got, so here we go. 0 successes, 1 threat. Ah!
No failures, though.
No failures.
Unfortunately, 0 successes is still a failure.
But Ray's got what, 2 setbacks now?
All right, here's Ray's team. 4 successes,
Oh my
4
God.
threats.
4 threats.
So because of the threats, this is going to be a success in your book.
Okay.
So he actually navigates the blast wave, no problem. And he comes shooting up right behind the carbine team's vehicle, goes to past them, just shoot right around them. And as they're entering kind of a passing sideswipe position, you jump off of the hood of the carbine vehicle, timing the jump just perfectly to land in kind of a straddled position on their hood. The force of your punch with the force of them moving up at the speed that they are, your hand crashes through their window, causing spidering effects all over.
Just as a fun fact, that punch, it does 8 damage.
You, however, because of the threat
Yeah.
and the force that occurred, you're going to find your hand stuck in the window for a
Okay.
turn.
Oh, it's a cybernetic one. Okay. I am going to spend maneuver to activate the defensive thing.
And then I have to roll for the carbine team still. Ooh. So, wow, 2 triumphs. In all this chaos, the Stormhawks have actually been through so many races before. Their vehicle is still equipped with top of the line equipment, fire suppression, navigation systems. And as you jump and land on Ray's vehicle, out of nowhere, you see the Stormhawks just catch that jet wave, and the drift patterns, the explosion, everything works out in their favor, and they shoot past Ray's vehicle. And you now find them between you and IG. They're now in second place.
Okay.
And they are kind of closing in on you, IG. Updating my positioning notes. All right. So in the bar, you guys just see all this happen. You see the gas fields explode as IG goes through it. You see the vehicle of the carbine team start to slow down. Delta jumping onto the hood of Ray's vehicle, shattering their window, and the Stormhawks just jettisoning past everyone else to catch up to IG.
How many legs do we have to go left?
You are approaching buoy number 7, and the 8th buoy is the last.
Mm-hmm.
So you pass the 8th buoy, and then it's the home stretch.
Arden curses as the the car he just got into is now got Delta on it, and he's I gotta figure out. I'm looking at the next screen. I'm trying to give IG the best benefit we can get. So I'm looking at the screens. What do we have coming up? And any advantage I can give him a boost to.
Into the next leg of the race.
What's the next leg coming up?
You can actually see on some of the sensors and the cameras what appear to be, from what you can make out, coming out of the clouds, numerous starship-sized objects flying in at high speed.
Giving some advice on these might be helpful.
What you got there, Arden?
As you hear him curse at the screen for what's happening, and it seems like everything he does is it's getting stifled by the action going on the other side. He says, I'm looking at the screen here. I've got something coming up. I don't know, something big's coming up. So as I relay over the comms to IG, because he can hear me as well, apparently.
What? Nope. Delta took the comms with her.
Delta's
Sorry.
comm, and we are in opposed position.
Well, the ship's got a comm, doesn't it?
Yeah, actually, I imagine Delta left it on the thing.
Well, then
Left it on the table, essentially, on open channel.
how are we gonna?
Between them.
Sounds like a bad idea.
Yeah.
But doesn't the ship have a comm built in? I would assume.
Yeah. They all have comms.
Okay.
Trying to reach into IG to tell him what's coming up. I'm giving him a boost. I'm giving him the information, the coordinates of the next thing coming up. Otherwise, I'm out of options here.
Yeah.
Cool. Fast moving large objects.
Fast moving large objects at these coordinates.
Thank you. Thank you.
Heads up.
Course plotted.
All right.
Hey, also Arden, good thing. So you turned off the light support in here, but there was it was a sealed vehicle. It's no longer a sealed vehicle, so this guy's probably getting close to asphyxiating.
That's why I was laughing when you broke the windshield. I was like,
All right. So we going back to the race?
Yeah.
Got something.
I don't know. What are the patrons in the bar doing? Like, how are they reacting to this crazy upset?
Like, this is one of the most exciting races they've seen in a while, because right now, like, everyone who was like just really frustrated and upset and downbeat that the Stormhawks were losing and they were going to lose all their life savings that they bet on the Stormhawks. The Stormhawks are now in second place and they're closing in on IG. So they have this like reinvigorated sense of, I may actually come out. My wife's not going to kill me. I'm not going to have to pick up a second job. I can retire. And they're like cheering for the Stormhawks.
So I do have a question for Arden.
Yeah.
Ren's racking his brain trying to make sense of some of this techno babble that you do. Are these pilots using the buoys as points of their navigational system? Or are they strictly for visual?
That would have to be. I am not 100% sure on that, GM. Is that a check I would have to make to know what they're doing?
For what to do?
Are they using their computers? Yeah, sorry.
Like the other pilots?
Yeah. Are they visual or are they computer navigated?
It's all computer navigated. They have like their waypoints and their maps and their flight paths kind of all entered into the nav system.
Oh, so it's pre-entered. It's not pinging constantly as a navigational point in space.
I don't follow. What do you mean?
Like, are they picking up? Are they targeting the buoys navigationally by like pinging off of them constantly, or is it a fixed point in space that they just need a map for?
It's a fixed point in space that they have a map for, but the nav systems are accounting for things that come up. The other racers' positions. It's kind of calculating the best like piloting course to avoid obstacles, so it does have an impact on those things as well.
Okay. No, that shoots my idea down. I'm good.
Okay.
All right.
Well, last leg.
So
Punch it, IG.
at this point, you pass the 7th buoy. The field has thinned significantly with the carbines being put out of decommission. It looks like Ray's not going to be doing too great. However, as you start to fly into the clear sky, the haze from the gas pockets has lifted, signaling the danger of the volatile gas is past. Only a few moments into this region, your sensory arrays start to scream to life, signaling numerous starship-sized objects inbound at high speed. You can't quite identify them yet, but they don't look promising.
Well, IG.
Yikes. Okay.
So, IG, since you're in first, you and the Stormhawks are going to close on these things first. And you're going to reach to them real quickly. And you find that these aren't actually starships. These are actually organic beings. And they appear to be getting
moved.
Yeah, they appear to be drawn to this area.
Got it. Okay. But I still have a rough idea of where they were. Like,
you were prepared for them because
Yeah.
they're
Yeah, they look like They look like large stingrays.
large masses. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, large stingrays that have this, what looks to be like an electrical field, kind of rippling over their skin.
Okay. I'm gonna take kind of a little bit of a wider path around them, but punch it at the same time.
Okay. Go ahead, and so before you can actually make your piloting skill for this segment, your gunner needs to try and fend these things off because they're closing in on you at a rapid pace, and you're already going at max speed. So you can use your repulsor at this point to try and take an extra point of strain and push the vehicle past its limits.
We have plenty of strain to burn.
Yeah.
There's a home stretch. May as well.
I want to do that. Yes.
You're going to take an extra difficulty check on this, on your navigating. So go ahead and roll for me.
You have the bonus die because you're in first.
Yep.
Right.
Add that.
So 3 purple.
And do the difficulty die decrease from the other guys?
What do you mean?
Less other
Yeah, the advisement from the other party members. Does that help any?
Yeah, that was 1 blip.
Yeah. I'll get.
Okay. That's
12 boost dice.
5 successes, 1 advantage.
Nice.
That's good. So as these things come in,
Nice.
let me roll the attack for this first thing, because I want to see how this plays out. So as you navigate around and calculate the most optimal course to avoid these things, you start to notice the electricity on their skin is starting to spark and expand, creating this dome-like effect that starts to branch out from them as they're letting out what is one of the head one is letting out essentially an EMP blast. So let me roll for this
That's
guy.
not good.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you're going to make it through, but if this thing rolls like 2 triumphs, you might have a hard time.
I
But
kinda
that's
had an idea it was going to do something like that. That's why I had the arcing wide path. I kind of imagined it like a big wide spiral to kind of keep on the same line, but just
yeah.
really showy and like a high G maneuver because
So only one
Michigan
success.
supremacy.
So you with your punching it and the navigating, you manage to like just keep ahead of this EMP blast.
Yes.
That's really good because you're a droid.
Right.
I'm a war droid though, so maybe I'm EMP shielded. Okay, fine. I was made by the cheapest bidder, but probably not.
So, hey QV,
Yeah.
how well shielded are you?
How well shielded am I?
Yeah.
So if I get hit by ion damage, and again they get 2 advantages, it shuts off my cybernetics.
Okay. I don't think it's going to hit you. They only landed 1 success. Before piloting,
Ion weapons hurt cyborgs too. They can't hurt us, but like they shut down our cybernetics if they get enough advantages.
Yeah, so the other cars are able to navigate around the EMP blast. However, Ray's driver is actually trying to focus on shooting down one of these Velcars that are closing in on it. And his gunnery for Ray's pilot. Sorry about that. I should have had this memorized. It's going to be a 3. But because the windows are busted, he's going to have a setback dice added to that. And what he's trying to do is he's trying to shoot these Velcars. He's been in the race before. He knows what these things want. And the Velcars think that these ships are prey. So it's going to try and take a bite attack out of the ship if it can't fend it off.
Okay.
So it lands 1 success, and that shot just kind of bounces off the thick, leathery body of this Velcar as it approaches, attempting to take a bite out of Ray's vehicle. And that bite attack is fire arc forward, damage 2, critical 2, range close, breach 1, prepare 1. Wow. All right. So we're gonna do the gunnery attack for this thing. And we're going to add the 2 difficulty for it. So it actually manages to cut through the armor on Ray's vehicle by 1 point. And it kind of just lands and up against the side opposite of you. So not the car that you're on, but the other car. As its teeth just start to sink into the hood of Ray's vehicle, trying to tear off a chunk. And after a moment, it realizes that this is not an organic being.
This tastes disgusting.
Right. And it loses interest. What are you doing as this occurs?
Oh, what am I doing?
Yeah.
So, okay. For my action, I am like, I wrap like that cable of my the shot thing around me to kind of keep it attached, and then I grab onto my cryoban rifle, level it at the vehicle in front of us, the corporate vehicle, and I recall they have a problem with overheating. And they've just gone from last to second, like dead last to second. So they're probably running very hot right now. I'd like to help them cool down. And I would like to take the Cryburn rifle and I would like to basically shut off seal their exhaust port.
Okay.
Nice.
With that, make that a 3 purple in difficulty
Okay.
because you're shooting for such a targeted area while these things are flying around. And no, you know what? Make that. I lied. Make that a 2 with a setback.
Okay. So here we go. Should I burn that last force, guys?
Go for it.
That's what it's
Okay.
there for.
Here we go. 0 successes, but 3 advantages.
All right. So you can negate like a defensive bonus. You can ignore some environmental effects. Just probably not the lot of things you can do right now, as you're kind of a sitting duck on the hood of someone else's cloud car.
I guess while they're as the cryoban rifle, it takes a second to ice it over properly.
Mm-hmm.
So they realize I'm trying to ice it over, and they start pulling evasive maneuvers. But in the evasive maneuvers, they're losing speed against me. Would that be reasonable with the 3 advantages?
Yeah, we can do
they're
that.
losing speed, or they're taking a setback die.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. And with my maneuver, my Delta's being a little shit because her arm's stuck in the driver's seat at the moment. So the only thing it can do is grab onto the steering wheel and try to steer a little bit. She's not trying to steer anywhere. It's just little cybernetic arm is no, left, no, right.
Nice.
Okay.
So that means that the corporate car is distracted, right? They're trying to pull evasive maneuvers from the cryoban rifle, trying to keep their exhaust ports from getting iced over, trying to maintain speed going through these critters.
Yep.
So now would be the time to completely screw their navigation.
Is that a question or a statement?
Oh, that was leveled at Arden from Ren.
I just saw 5 successes and 1 triumph. I'm like, why?
No, I rolled the dice on accident.
Oh, okay.
Fine, I gotta take the stress, and I'm gonna activate my defensive thing again. I'm a 7 strain. Delta's so tired right now.
All right, Arden, what are you
Okay.
doing?
Okay, so what was the question? I'm sorry. I was going through my character sheet and I was looking at stuff. So what were we saying?
They're struggling to stay afloat. Now's the time to sink them. Let's drop that corporate ship out of the way and be done with this.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and sink the ship this corporate ship. I'm gonna attack their systems. I don't even know how to attack the ship because what's a legitimate way to attack them I could hit their life support, I could hit their engines, I could hit something to shut them down, but I don't know what's appropriate for this level of where I'm at.
Can you overheat them?
I would like to say yes, but I don't want to abuse the system for how much control I have in here.
I would say that you can get in there, and just like cars now, you can hack a lot of that master control.
Okay.
Can you destabilize the reactor core that's powering this thing?
Yeah.
Because that would cause the entire thing to overheat.
Yeah, you basically turn off the cooling system.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go for the cooling system. I like that idea.
Now we're talking.
Because they'll blow out their engine.
What kind of thing are we talking about here?
So since this is the corporate sponsor team, they're going to have much stronger encryption than other teams. So this will be a 3 purple.
Okay.
1 success,
Okay.
2 threats, 1 triumph.
Okay.
Nice. I am the way I view it, and let me know if you disagree with it. Is the 2 threats is going to be caused by you leaving your Gray Ghost tag on their system.
I like that.
Awesome. The Gray Ghost is helping us out.
But no, describe to me how you see this going down.
Okay. With the success, so I managed to hit their cooling system, and with the triumph, I'm saying that as I accessed their system, it was almost a surprise. Like I got in. I mean, I was overjoyed that I got into their system. I hit the cooling system, disabled it. As it heats up, the core starts to radiate with heat, and it actually one by one their systems start shutting down as the power fluctuates from system to system, but it overloads, and the car now this is the corporate sponsored car, which is the one in second place right now.
Correct.
Yes, as it I don't know if I can say that it's like it's being taken out of the race, but it starts to spin out of control.
Okay.
And starts fluctuating. Like one engine's going faster than the other, starts spinning around different directions. And from that point, you can say wherever it's going. It's just the system one after another shuts down.
Okay. So that brings us back to the racers.
I hope it detonates. Boom.
So IG, you're in first place. I want you to roll a standard piloting check for me with 2 purple. At this point, you've blown past the 8th buoy. Only about half the racers are left as the Stormhawks spin out of control. It's going to come down to you and Razor as you pass the 8th buoy and are heading towards the finish line.
Is Razor close to me?
Not yet. But just roll. Before we go on anything else, just roll.
Not yet, he says.
So 0 successes, 1 threat. So with this, Razor punches it. Delta, or QV, you are kind of jostled and start to lose your footing as Razor just punches it, and you can hear the metal just straining under the pressure of Razor's ship trying to catch up to IG. And just moments as they gun the engine, you start to notice smoke coming out of the back of the engine blocks as it's starting to sputter, and it keeps trying to reignite the gases in the engine, and then it stalls out and reignites and stalls out. And you get the sense that Razor's vehicle is running out of gas.
Abandoned ship.
Moments later, IG, you cross the finish line to many screams of disappointment, many cheers of excitement, and that's where we're going to end the session.
Machine supremacy.
Arden, my friend, let's go get paid.
I'm still stuck.
That's right.
What is that payout going to be exactly? That was some really good odds and all of our money.
Yeah, I'll do the math on that before the next session. It may not be as much as you expect.
It's like 5 million to 1 odds.
More than we had.
You may potentially make more off the gambling than the race. We'll see. So before we go any further, I want you guys to all nominate 1 star of the game tonight. Church, who's your vote?
I'm gonna. Goodness, this was tough. I'm gonna go with Delta for the midair acrobatic and antics. It was very close with IG for being a phenomenal pilot, though.
Urban, your vote?
You know, I'll have to say I agree. I think that Delta's for that cable flying across from car to car and the explosion just getting out of there in time. That's got to be like complete Star Wars fandom right there. That's just awesome.
Yeah, I could hear the theme playing in my head.
Urban, what's your, or not Urban, Ginkgo, who's your vote?
I mean, I have to agree just for that Star Wars moment, you know, riding the explosive wave to land on the spaceship.
So for tonight, everyone's going to get, since you finished first place, everyone's going to get 10 experience.
Ooh,
And
yes. Thank you.
Typo, you are going to get 13 points of experience.
Yeah.
So other than
Oh.
the chaos and the disorganization of trying to track what racer was in what position, what did you guys think of your first starship, like true starship encounter?
It was interesting the way it worked with like us being on the ground, them being in the air. I mean, it would have probably been even more interesting if Altor had been. He's somewhere eating squibs, I'm sure, but
Yeah, it's too bad he had to miss this.
I actually felt, as Ren, I felt a little tense. Like Ren's not used to being helpless, like unable to really affect his will onto a situation.
I feel like Altar would have found a really good bar to watch the event from. Some seedy, like, underbelly joint.
With squibs and Ugnaught spit.
With just
drinking and eating and wondering in the back of his mind, what is this? How are we winning? You know?
I just want you to know, the entire time she was flying through the air, she was like, Delta was like, she turned off at all comms and was just, ah!
So
turns them back on. I'm cool.
So
I have to say that I think that, I mean, as a player, or sorry, as a player looking in, I think for me, you know, as my character, as much as I enjoyed all the hacking part of it, I think that it was too much.
okay.
That was just me. I mean, it was just like I was trying not to use as much as I could to take control and destroy cars. That's just not what I thought was right or fair. But I enjoyed it. I really did.
Okay.
But you know, that was just fair enough. That's
Oh,
a
no.
fair opinion on that.
Ren's going to try and talk you into hacking anything he can think
Yeah.
of because he doesn't understand how that works.
The one thing I want to, because of like the level of just pure insanity that Delta dealt out during this race, like this is going to be in holovids, this is going to be in the news.
Right.
While on Bespin, until you leave Bespin, or for your tenure of living on Bespin, you will have acquired 5 obligations from fame.
Which I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say thank you for pulling the attention off of my antics.
Just Delta?
Just Delta. Like,
Okay.
you may get fame, but it'll be short-lived in the grand scheme of things. Like what Delta pulled off, it's not going to be...
That was fucking epic.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever like jumped out of the cloud car and like,
right, exactly. I mean, it's like, yeah, Ugnaught Spit won. Delta just speechless.
It's gonna be that
Delta
tin cup
will.
moment where it says nobody's gonna ever remember who won the race, but what happened during it.
Right.
Well, plus,
Delta will totally direct some of like the praise to IG for like trying to do that like slingshot maneuver. It didn't quite work, but like you could almost see it happening.
I do have to.
So cool if like, just run it like a little like loop-de-loop to like whip something.
Yeah.
Would have
Just needed
worked
one more
with the
success.
spaceship. Oh.
Well, Delta was out of all of us too. Delta was one bad roll away from certain death.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like out there, outside of the car, like one fall from Bespin, like clouds that that's bit by.
Like if
I had one trick up my sleeve. I was gonna do the Legolas shield slide, but Delta still would have like eaten so much shit, even if that was allowed.
so if Ray's vehicle didn't generate like the 4 or 5 threat from that success roll they had, that would have been a much different situation if they had just been
Mhm.
like 3 successes and 0 threats. It was those threats that essentially allowed that to be pulled off because you didn't succeed. So it was more just they created too much of a threat that it just happens that you were able to pull it off.
What is the most threatening thing I can have happen to them? Ah, yes, a Delta comes through your window.
The way I was thinking of that paying off if you failed was to encourage you to have flipped a force dice for one of those creatures to fly down to try and eat you, and you wrangle that to
Yeah.
keep you from dying because you still had, I think, the force left at that moment.
Yeah.
By the time we leave Bespin, like if this keeps up at this pace,
You may not be alive.
well, yeah, there's that.
Not from others killing you, but from you killing yourself.
They'll be calling us like the Bespin 5 or something.
Ocean's 11. All right. Urban.
Thanks for the subscribe.
Thanks.
No problem.
I figured I've hung around here a few weeks.
I just realized, oh wait, I can.
All right, so I'm gonna
So,
wrap
question.
up. Oh, go ahead. No, I'm gonna
gonna
wrap
ask
up the stream, and then we can talk a little bit more.
Yeah.
Let me end this. I heard the kid say bye.
Oh.